Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Why am I in the small box? We're going to have to figure that out for a second. Oh, hold on. Oh, geez. Hold on a second. There it is. Okay, perfect. Happy Monday, everybody. How was everybody's Easter? I have we added to our signage. So we have this one here, and it says it's called Karma, and it's pronounced ha ha ha. I figured that would be a good one. And then we have the sarcasm now being served daily sign. So we have added to our repertoire of signs. There are no new filings because court is not open today. It's Patriots Day here in Massachusetts. It's a Massachusetts state holiday for the Lexington and Concord battle. But it is Patriots Day, so it is closed. Not a federal holiday, it's a state holiday, but so our state courts, not our federal courts are still open, but our state courts are closed today. Thank you, Kings. So also a big shout out to Freak, because I got this morning my big box of Pringles that were on my wish list, and the chip that goes inside my computer to try to make it a little bit faster. So thank you, Freak. You are the best, my friend. Still waiting on my Justice for John hoodie. It should have been here today, but it looks like it's going to be delayed until tomorrow. But hopefully, because it's coming with the regular mail, I'll get it right in the morning. Right in the morning, because my mail comes right in the morning. So hopefully, I will have it for openings. Fingers crossed. But thank you, Freak, because now I have beautiful Pringles in all different flavors that I like. And also, I send them to school with my daughter, although it's school vacation week this week, and my little is sick today. Had such a great day yesterday. Today, she woke up with a 24-hour bug. So my little has been doing the pukey in the bucket this morning. So a little delayed. Hubby's home, laying down with her now, but she does not feel good. So everybody, hopefully everybody like say a little prayer that hopefully it's just a little 24-hour bug. She doesn't have a fever or anything. So I don't know, day after Easter, like that would be my luck, right? But thankfully it's on school vacation week. So she doesn't have to miss any school for being sick. And my oldest is back at the hospital. They're going to have to probably wound vac her wounds. She ended up having to go back yesterday. So she was out a little more than a week, maybe. So apparently we'll just keep doing this round in the circle dance. But they didn't. So she had surgery on both arms, and they didn't sew them shut because she has scleroderma, and her skin is already stretched so tightly that they thought that sewing it up would make it worse and more painful. So they wanted it to close on its own. But the risk of that happening is that it can get infected, and that's what happened. So unfortunately, we're going to do this back and forth dance around in circles with the kiddos. But on a good note, Easter went well. Okay, we had a good Easter. We had a giant Easter egg hunt. But what I will say is 2 of the things that I ordered for the Easter eggs, and I bought a bunch of things for, like, the Easter eggs to go in the eggs for the kids. Like, not just candy, but, like, squishies, like mini squishies, mini mochi squishies, those little slap hand things you used to have that stick to stuff, slap bracelets for the girls, keychains, bouncy balls, mini slinkies, spinning tops, all sorts of random stuff that I put in them. It was over 600 eggs. I have a very large yard, and this is the first year the kids had a yard like that to be able to do one. So I wanted to do it, go big or go home. And I was also hosting my friend and her littles, and she doesn't have much family, so I wanted it to be special for them. And it was special. There was so many eggs; they were everywhere. But 2 things that I ordered for the eggs didn't come until, of course, this morning. One of them is like eggs that transform into dinosaurs that I got for the boys. They're kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. Hold on. See this? Of course, it didn't come till this morning. It was delayed by a day. They transform into dinosaurs. So I would have just spread them out in the lawn and let the kids pick up, these ones on their own, but they turned into dinosaurs. They didn't come till today. So I guess I'll save them for like a different day when the kids are here in the summer and we can just do something fun. Like, okay, you can totally do Easter eggs and put anything in them. They have these little like wooden chips that will go into them that have like, it'll say things on it like win a day of fun or, water balloons. Like, so you can put things in the eggs. And so I figured we'll save these and the other ones that came today for something fun during the summer for the kids. Oh, thank you, Claire. I appreciate you, my friend. Also, I figured something out for you Apple Pay people who have been asking me about Apple Pay because I don't have any Apple devices. I work on Android, but I figured something out, which actually it was PayPal that directed me to it. On my PayPal, it tells me that I can make a link, a pay link. And you can either set it at a certain amount or not. I didn't set it at a certain amount, so anybody can put any amount on there. It's a link that takes Apple Pay. So that link is in the description here in this video. And I also put it, Freecast it, so he can put it in the chat too. So that's a little tidbit for you Apple Pay people who've been asking me forever how to figure out Apple Pay because I don't have Zelle or anything. So I am. I am extreme. Yes, it was a long day. I'm also trying to keep my voice down because my daughter's in the other room sleeping. So I'm trying not to be super loud, Usually I have no problem about my volume because she's at school. But she's in the other room, so I'm trying to keep my voice low. I have a microphone for a reason, so I'm trying to keep it at a minimum. Jesse, me too, my friend. Me freaking too. I guess I'm hearing he made over like 50 accounts on Facebook. Like, bro, all of them are going to be shut down. It's that simple. All of them are going to be shut down because there's no reason on planet Earth that you should have ever had them for as long as you did, right? So, and I have no idea. We have no idea, right? Actually, we have no clue why his Facebook would be, right, TB2? We have no idea why his socials would be getting suspended. Like, none at all. We have no clue. No idea why that would have happened or why possibly maybe his other socials go down. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure. None at all. We know nothing about it. Like nothing. We got nada. Like nada. Oh, Claire, thank you so much. So Claire sends $100 for the week and says, "For keep yourself fed and supplied with Mary Lou's for a trial." Thank you so much. And I love, you guys know I love my Mary Lou's coffee. That's like my one thing that I get for myself. Literally. It's like my only thing, like for myself, You mean his like the one that's like not his, but like was made like for his like page. You're talking about that one, right? Because it's not connected to his stuff. Someone else made it from a different IP address. That's why that one hasn't come down yet. Trevor, that's a good point. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But best coffee in town, that's right. That's their motto. But it won't be for much longer. He's broken the terms of service in every goddamn video he's ever done. So, unfortunately for him, it's only a matter of time before that comes down too. The problem with YouTube is you can report something, right? Yeah, that's what I figured, the OnlyFan one. Yeah, that one's still up because he didn't make it, and it's not connected to his like phone and computer. Someone else made it on behalf of. So, but again, as soon as they realize it's connected to him, that one will come down too. Oh my God, he's so stupid. The government is not monitoring his devices. He's such an idiot. When you get banned from Facebook, and this applies to everyone, not just him, he thinks he's like special or something. And you get like banned or permabanned, guess what? Guess what? Even you, if you were permabanned or or even a temp ban, you wouldn't be able to either on your computer or your phone from the same location. It would insta-ban you just like it's doing to him. I don't even know why he's bothering to continue to try to make more and more and more. It's not gonna help him. So, yeah. Apparently he thinks he's special and, like, the feds are tapping him. That's not the case. He's not that important. That happens to everyone who gets a ban like that. So, where, again, I'll refer back to my new sign. It's called karma, and it's pronounced ha 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 ha. That's what I'll refer to. He went on a rant talking about how everyone is obsessed with him, and that the haters were talking about him, and he started talking about you guys. You know, the only reason anybody ever had to say anything about or to him was because he decided to tell an audience of thousands of people a bunch of lies about people. We have the right to defend ourselves. It has nothing to do with being obsessed. I love when he says that. That's his excuse for everything. What it has to do with is making sure that he doesn't do it to other people. That's not obsessed. That's making sure you can't harm other people. It's like, I'm sorry, but when you go and you lie about person after person after person after person after person because you have a personal vendetta or you're jealous, and make no mistake, he gets mad over the pettiest he's like a child. Like, he got mad because I didn't lie for him to a woman. Come to find out, not only was he cheating on his wife with one woman, and the second other woman found out, but then there was a third woman who found me just a couple days later. So he's mad I didn't lie for him. That was all it took, was me not lying for him. Imagine that. Like, imagine that. You don't have to have done anything wrong or anything like that. All it takes is for you to literally just exist and him not like that you exist. It's literally that simple. Like, sad, but simple. Okay. So make no mistake when I say that the man's obsessed with himself. He can go tit for tat all he wants. He can say whatever he wants about me. I really don't give a shit, because anybody who believes that just venom and crap that he spews out of his mouth, especially anybody like you guys, and some of you have gotten to know me pretty well personally outside of this, a lot outside of my stream, um, know who I am and what I'm about. Ashley could tell you. You know what I mean? Like, I take nothing he said seriously, and nor should anyone else. The fact that anybody does, that's the concerning part. So he can say whatever the fuck he wants. I really don't care. It's never going to bully me off of my stream. It's never going to make me be quiet about the things that he has done to people. And it's never going to make me stop fighting for victims. Newsflash to him, long before I ever had a stream, I've been a volunteer advocate for 18 years. I literally have been advocating for people for 18 years for free. Okay? Because people can't always afford to hire someone as an advocate. They're expensive. They are expensive. So I find it funny, find it real funny that he goes on and does the tit for tat thing. He can say whatever he wants. He can say whatever he wants. I really don't give a shit. And I think maybe that's the part that bothers him, is I don't fucking care. I know who I am. I don't need a pat on the back, and I don't need validation from anyone, including you guys. Is it nice for people to, like, say, like, "Hey, great job. You're doing a great job." Of course, it's always nice. People take that. Well, he doesn't, and appreciate it. But I don't need it. I don't need validation from anybody. I know who I am. And I'll tell you, it took me a long time to get there, because once upon a time, I didn't. I was a very broken little girl from abuse early in my life and into early adulthood. So I was broken at the age of like 18. I was damaged at that point. I didn't care whether I lived or died. I was reckless. I just didn't give a shit. So it took me a long time to find myself. But once I did, I don't need validation from anybody, including him. His mistake is thinking that anybody gives a fuck what he has to say. That's his mistake. Oh, it's everyone else. It's always everyone else. You know that, TB2. It's always everyone else. Jennifer said, here in Sweden, we had first episode of the ID Dog last night. Oh, you just had it just now? Ugh. Did you watch it, Jen? She said she looks so guilty, has no self-awareness, no empathy, and changed her story so often. Very unlikable person she is. Exactly. And if you take that same thing and apply it to him, boom, you're talking about literally the same kind of person. You know? Exactly, Trevor. Mark Zuckerberg is not monitoring him. He's not that fucking important. Like, it's not that important. You know, Jesse, a lot of people said that as soon as she opened her mouth. I was like, what the fuck did you just say? And the fact that she laughed about it, you know? Yes, it tracks your IP address, exactly. Like, in what your location. Like, they're not going to let you make new accounts, you absolute fucking genius. Like, the fact that he said this, said they're monitoring his devices because everyone is obsessed with him. I don't know, but he's anything to look at. 5 to 2 smush face. You know, it's funny to me that he thinks that, like, they've flagged you, bro. They said you have no integrity, by the way. Oh, that's right, you don't. So, shocker. Anybody shocked about that? I'm not. Freak said, I'm sure they've flagged his normal IP address and flagged with a cookie on browsers. I'm sure they've got many ways. Yeah, of course, dude. We're talking about Mark Zuckerberg here. Like, dude is rich, rich. Like, he made sure that if you're permabanned, you are, like, permabanned. Like, he's a bully. Yeah. And he has pushed it for far too long, far too far. He can blame nobody but himself. Isn't that a shocker? Better off without people like him in your life. You know what, Kings? Fucking bravo. Exactly. Hi, Emma. Nice to see you. Oh, yes. Many times. Many times. Not just once, not just twice, and not with just one woman or 2 women, but 3 women at one time. I am friends with all 3 of those women currently, and each one of them is an amazing human in their own way, you know? And what he does is prey on people who are at a really shitty part in their life, who might be a little bit emotionally damaged in that moment, and he preys upon them. And it's funny because every single one of those women have become stronger because of his bullshit. Not that they should have ever had to go through it, but they are stronger women. And he does not like that. He's a toxic human being. Exactly, Kings. A toxic human being. Hey, Leah. Hope you had a happy Easter, my friend. Agent 99 said she's putting away Easter stuff, listening, and she's got to go to work. I don't have membership. I don't have anything like that right now. I don't have monetization because the FKR crew attacked my channel with false reports, and so I had to wait 6 months to reapply. I reapplied, and now I'm waiting, and YouTube takes forever, so I don't have monetization right now. But I have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal as a way to support the channel. That's at the bottom of the screen. It's like right below your comment that I put up on the screen. And then I have a link that I figured out on my PayPal that takes Apple Pay. So anybody who has Apple Pay can do that, and Freak can put it in the chat. It's also in the description of this video, this one that we're on right now. But that's currently the only ways I have for people to support the channel, unfortunately. I appreciate it. I don't have memberships. I also did get a $3. This is the information in case anybody was wondering. I got a $3 donation when we got off our last live. I'm not going to read the name because, they didn't tell me whether they, wanted it read, and I don't ever read it unless they put their screen name on, then I'll read the screen name. But there was a $3 donation that said, thank you for answering my questions. I'm more than happy to answer questions. I always am. So I appreciate it, and thank you very, very much for your $3 donation from the last stream. Okay, so I know I'm a little bit behind on the comments, but that's because I like to interact with you guys, so give me a second. Trevor said it's not just IP addresses, it is device and browsers too. Facebook knows your browser and device fingerprint from handshakes with them. Interesting. See, I know tech, but like you guys know a lot more tech than I do. Like I know basic tech, but you guys, some of you, people are still defending him after the Court TV shame. Aiden show went out. They believe Court TV is corrupt, but not Aiden. Oh, I can't. It's everyone is apparently except him. Somebody told me this morning that he has now, this is the second time he has basically compared himself to Jesus. If that is not a huge red flag for cults, then I don't know what is. I mean, what other red flag, like the fact that like people aren't seeing like giant red flags like stuck to his forehead. Like if you follow me, you will end up in a mindless cult. I don't get it. It makes no logical sense to me. Like for Karen Reed, we're about to enter the beginning of the end for TV. It's only at the end of the beginning, but it's coming. It's coming. It is coming. I can tell you guys, there's some things that I can't always disclose um to you guys in the public. But what I can tell you is this. I can tell you that karma has a sneaky, sneaky fucking way of coming. And make no mistake when I say that karma is coming for him sooner than later. Okay? And I again will revert back to my new sign of it's called karma and it's pronounced ha 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 ha. Thank you, Anna. I appreciate it. I'm kind of used to the chaos, honestly. Like, used to the back and forths with the hospital and a sick kid isn't, Riley, I think, just has the bug. I think she's just got a 24-hour bug. She doesn't seem like she has a temper or anything. She had a headache, gave her Tylenol. But she's laying down. I'm trying to keep my voice to a minimum because sometimes I can be loud, and because it's school vacation week, she's home. So I'm trying to not be my normally loud self. Talking about how the news women were talking shit. Well, that's the thing. It just goes on and says things that don't even matter. This person's crazy, and this person's a grifter, and this person's a scammer, and they're all riding my coattails. And he says the same like 6 things over and over and over and over about people. It never actually occurred to him that it probably can't be everyone else. That if you're always fighting with someone, that it's probably not everyone else. It's probably you. It's never occurred to him. And apparently it's never occurred to how many of his viewers that if the man is always going after someone, always bitching and whining, complaining about someone, that it's probably not everyone else. It is probably him. But when you're a narcissist and you have antisocial personality disorder, which I would opine, my opinion is he shows signs of that and signs of a few other mental health disorders. Not that it's an excuse. It is not. The man is a full-blown narcissist. Like, you can't fix that, unfortunately. He just belongs in prison for the rest of his life or in a mental facility. To Bridgewater you go, sir. Like, yep, I did. Yeah, he thinks it bothers everyone. It doesn't. He's like in for a rude awakening. Like, it doesn't. I wish I did. Agent 99. If I did, I would. Nicholas said, I loved how he got so triggered by the Court TV episode about him. He hated it and he started reading fake turd chats coming in. Yeah, he does that sometimes. He inflates his numbers, reads fake. He reads, well, we know this from people who worked with him, that he reads fake donations to make other people donate, which not only is skeezy and scammy, but he calls that to other people. Everybody else is a scammer and skeezy. But we know that he at one point had hired like bots to inflate his numbers, his viewership numbers, and his likes and his comments. So I find it funny coming from the man that reads fake donos to make other people donate, that he has anything to say about anybody else. Every donation I read is 100% real. Hence why I don't read a million of them per show, because I don't get a million of them per show. I make very little money. But it's funny. He is losing control. No, he's definitely dangerous. And this is what the court, I think, sort of doesn't understand, is he is dangerous. Dangerous in a different way, but dangerous nonetheless. You don't have to be running around firing shots at people with an actual gun to be dangerous. He is dangerous. He literally leads people to fall off a cliff. Like, they will commit crimes for him. They will lie in affidavits for him. It's already happened numerous times. Why? 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 I don't understand it. It's your livelihood. It's your life. And you're willing to lie for this guy? Make it make sense. Like, that's the part that's dangerous. That is cult-like, I don't. You know what I mean? I know I'm doing the best that I can with what I have. That's it. That's all I can do. I have to watch it. I will watch it. Can anybody send me the link to it so I can watch it? Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg's in on the cover up. Well, as of right now, he is banned, perma. He can appeal because everybody has the right to appeal, but, doubt he'll win that appeal, and I think he knows that, you know? Oh, yeah, he hates when you call him a nerd or a geek. Said women never paid attention to him until after, basically, this case, so part of the reason why he thinks he's so cool. Very big bully. Yeah, I thought it was funny that Facebook said, like, "Hey, you have no integrity." It's exactly what it is, Sarah Boone with the bank account? "Oh, that's okay if you're 12 minutes behind. Put it on 2.5, Anna." No, it is the next one. Sailboat, it is the next one. It will be the next one. Well, he still has the appeal, so technically it's not permanent yet, but he's not gonna win that appeal, and then it'll be perma ban, so that sucks. You can only be banned so many times from Facebook and keep remaking accounts and keep getting rebanned before they perma ban you, and this is, like, the 3rd time, 3rd or 4th time, um, maybe even 5th, like, so, yeah, they're done playing games with him, like, yeah, I was talking about the dinos again, but they just came. They came late. It's me a walking STD. Oh, you have no idea, Christina, the amount of victims that have come to me. I honestly couldn't tell you why his victims come to me personally. But they do, and they have, and I'm made very good friendships with a lot of them, from those first interactions of them reaching out to me. And someone said to me, "Well, at least it's probably because they know, like, that their information is safe with you. What happened to them is safe with you. If they wanna share it, they can share it, like, but they know that you're not just gonna, give the details and show the receipts just because people wanna see them, like, that's irrelevant. A victim I've been a victim. You're ready when you're ready, not just because other people wanna see it or other people want to know. Their need to know does not trump the person who's the victim. So, um I'm honored that some of his victims have come to me, and I know they know that their information is safe with me, and that it's not going anywhere. Honestly, I've asked myself why. Why do they come to me? Because obviously not all of them do, but quite a few have. Um, and that was my friend's response was like, they probably talked to one another and knew like you were someone that was a safe person to go to. And everyone here knows I'm always a safe person to go to. Even if you just wanna bitch and whine and scream and cry and just have someone to listen, I will be there. Because not everybody has family that can do that. I lost my best friend years ago when my middle daughter was a toddler, and I miss her every single day. She was like my left leg, like sewn onto my body. Every holiday, every birthday, my little is named after her. She's the only one of my children that my best friend didn't meet. So but I miss her every single day. There's no person that can ever replace your very best friend in the entire world who knew you front, back, and side. We can just give a look, and they know what you're thinking and what you're gonna say or what you were gonna say. Um, I miss her all the time, and nobody can replace her ever. So I know what it's like to lose people close to you and then feel like, now what? Now you can't call her, right? I can't call her now and be like, "I need you." She's not gonna walk through my door with a Mary Lou's coffee in the morning without knocking. Like, you miss those things, when they're gone, and these are things you shouldn't take for granted for people who are with you now because you never know, the next day could change the world when it comes to your world and never be the same. So, I say make sure that you do tell the people that you care about that you love them and that you realize that those fun times when you're driving in a car laughing, like me and Ashley do sometimes, or going to get a coffee, or waiting for her to come through my door with a coffee to wake me up because I'm not answering her calls because I'm still sleeping, or wanting to take the kids out to do something, like those times will never happen again, not with her. But what you can do is speak to the people who are still alive about the person that passed away. I talked to my daughter a lot about her auntie, um, and my older 2 miss her a lot, but my little knows pretty much everything about her because that's how I keep her memory alive. So, I'm kinda glad yesterday was Easter and you got to spend it with your family or chosen family. I got to spend it with my chosen family and family. My sister came over with my nephew and my niece, and they did the Easter egg hunt with my friends' kids and my kids. So if Alex Jones can't get around this, we can't. Exactly, Trevor. Do I think he'll have any visitors? Yeah, maybe Meredith. Maybe at that point she gives up though, you know? Oh my god, that is terrible, Christina. Sarah Boone's victim is your husband's cousin? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. That is awful. I feel like I don't even have the words for that. That is, horrible. Please give your husband our love. Yeah, well, he does think he's God's gift. He seems to forget that, like, he just looks like a gremlin, and most of the world doesn't even know who he is. Like, no, most people don't even know who he is. I did not find the clip yet. I did take yesterday off, to be fair. I had not taken a day off, um, and I tasked other people with looking for it, but obviously everybody was taking yesterday off because it was Easter. Um, I haven't had a chance to try to delve back in and look. I was gonna do that today again. But I asked Free to look, and we were trying to look via transcripts, which makes it a little easier. It's kind of hard to sit there because you have to sit there and watch all of the time, like through the whole something hours of everything. That would take up a lot of time. So we're trying to figure a way to find it faster. But sometimes even with transcripts, it might not pick up everything that's said. And I remember him not being right in front of the microphone when he said it. Like, whether he was off to the side or a little further away, I remember he wasn't, like, right on top of the microphone when he said it, so, um but we will find it. We will find it. What was the second one? What's the difference between the text stream data and the chip? The text stream data comes from the chip off. So the chip on, chip off is where they get the data. It's a chip from the car, from, like, the brain of the computer of the car, and that's how you get the text stream data is from the chip. And they missed a bunch of data the first time around when the defense did the chip on, chip off. And so the chip on, chip off was done again. And the first time around, you risk it being destroyed forever doing a chip off. Thankfully, it wasn't, and they were able to solder it back together, right? So chip on, and then do another chip off to get the rest of the data that was missed. So I cannot wait to see what is in that data. Oh, he's definitely delusional, Brittany. We're past that. Like, he's been Delulu land for quite some time. Yeah, he keeps saying that, like, if she's found not guilty, that magically his charges will be dropped. No, they won't. I don't know why he thinks that. That's never going to happen. Thank you, Kim. I love him too, right? I would just keep adding to my repertoire of funny sayings and signs. I love them. I love them. Yes, this is the link for the PayPal for people who have Apple Pay. You can pay with Apple Pay on that one. I figured out a solution. Actually, I didn't even figure it out. PayPal literally just like had a thing when I signed in that said something about it. And I was like, wait, what? And I clicked on it to figure out what was going on. This woman named Juliana, and I feel really bad for that. What's the over under that someone at the courthouse gets locked up tomorrow? That'd be a good over under. I don't know. It's a very real possibility. It's a very real possibility, and I would think it would be hilarious. I know I'm like 10 minutes behind in these. I'm working on it. Uh, yeah, because I have a hard time thinking about them as human beings. Like, no, yes, you expect people to have humanity, but they have no conscience, like you said. Like, so it's like, no. I did hear about JLR. I always want to say RL instead of LR. JLR is coming back. And they did not like it when he was here the first time. They did not like it. I will not lie to you. He literally just gave them what they give everybody else. And the FKR people were like trying to put their hands in front of his camera, batting in front of his face. One person actually assaulted him. If I was him, I would have been like, assault, lock this person up. So just saying. Yep, Charles Manson compared himself to Jesus. That's right. That's right. Yeah, huge red flag, dude. Yep, and so did David Koresh. I looked into that. That's one of the, like, cult things outside of, like, Manson and Heaven's Gate. A lot of other there's a lot of other ones, but, like, the David Koresh one for some reason was one that I really studied because it was so like, the way it happened with the ATF and just the whole thing being on video, it was fascinating. So I've delved into that, like, quite a few times. Good morning, Erin. I have a question. If Aiden has no platforms left to report on, then will he be allowed in the media? But yeah, he will, because he still has media credentials. He still, he still has media credentials, so they still have to let him in until he has no credentials. But what he'll do is he'll go to Rumble, and half his audience won't follow him to Rumble. Maybe half will, but the rest won't. Like, you know, he does talk in circles. He also has no idea what he's talking about, so he sounds like an idiot to people who do know what the fuck they're talking about. It's amazing to me, because then his idiots just parrot what he said, thinking that they're smart and they know what they're talking about, when in reality, if they did, like, 10 seconds of research and used, like, Dr. Typey Google, they would have figured out that he was a fucking liar. So the fact they don't do their own research is kind of the problem. This is why I tell you, people don't even listen to what I fucking say. Go and look for yourself. Go look for yourself, because you should always be double and triple checking what people say. Even I can get it wrong sometimes, guys. I mean, I am human, but always check for yourself. Yeah, we are all very sorry, Christina. That's fucked up. Like, that is fucked up. X still has his accounts. Yep. We'll see for how much longer X keeps him. Yeah, he always calls her a murderer. So it's so funny because every time he does that, he's just tacking on more money for that civil suit. Oh, yeah, Kerry Roberts has explaining to do. Kerry Roberts has no explaining to do. Also, they did not even cross-examine Kerry Roberts last time. Also, FYI, Kerry Roberts wasn't even in the house. She came that morning. She was called. She wasn't there the night before. Kerry Roberts has nothing to do with anything other than trying to help find her friend. Like, so, and that's another thing. If he was leaked impounded text under a protective order, that's a no-no, and the defense is gonna get in a lot of trouble for that because they're the only ones who could have leaked it to him. So, just FYI, I have already sent that information. Somebody else told me that, and I sent that information already to the court and to Hank Brennan, to the Commonwealth via email. Anybody can. Anybody can send this stuff to the court and to Hank Brennan. You can email him on his .gov email. So any of this stuff that comes up, like, send it to the court, because this is stuff that they need to deal with when it comes to the defense leaking shit. Especially shit in a protective order. That's a big fat no-no. They can get a lot of fucking trouble for that. So the fact that he can't keep his mouth shut. He is literally their worst nightmare. He has to shoot himself in the foot when he's really angry about something. He just doesn't shut up and, like, screws himself over because he can't remember which lie he told to whom and when. So it gets raveled up in the giant, lie yarn ball that he has. Like, oh, I believe that will happen, but it probably won't happen until after this trial is over, unfortunately. Like, I think the seatbelt clip is when Hank is talking about their new reconstruction accident guy. Oh, maybe that's where it is. Wait, no, didn't we already go through that? And there was one part we talked about with the reconstruction guy, and they were talking about it, but they didn't mention the seatbelt. But I remember the seatbelt part specifically. I remember watching it. I remember hearing it. So I have to find it. Like, he's a full 6 inches high. X is the hardest platform. They allow all sorts of fucking hate speech and shit, and they don't do anything about it. Like, but I think we're all looking forward to Hank's opening statement. I'm also looking forward to listening to the defense's opening statement. I want to see if they follow the order that was put in and whether they try anything sneaky, you know? I wanna and that's another thing, it will shine light on what he knows and what he's gonna present to the core, and so that's gonna be super duper interesting, and it's tomorrow, so, like, how more excited can we get? I feel like I should be popping, like, a confetti cannon or something right now, like, "Woo, about to start trial 2," like no, Proctor can testify. If they call him, he can testify. He probably will testify, to be honest. Hold on 1 second, guys. 1 second. Sorry, guys, that's my oldest, talking about her arms, so I needed to get the update. He can testify, he absolutely can testify. Um, yeah, well, she's definitely crazy, that's for sure. He demanded the court TV person's address, saying he was going to go there. I hope she'll be safe. And the way he started saying she was crazy, all she's done was tell the truth about him. Well, that's the thing. He calls anybody crazy who tells the truth about him. We're all crazy. We're all scammers. We're all grifters. We're all the same 6 things he calls every single person. Like, that does say a lot, Anna. I know. I can't believe it's tomorrow either. Maestro! You know, I almost messaged you this morning to see if you could make me clips for Sidebar. I need clips made for Sidebar. And I know that you do really good visuals. I need someone to make me a couple, like, short clips I can play during Sidebar. Um, yeah, let's well, I know nothing about why they would be doing that, Maestro. Nothing. I mean, me and Ashley and TB2, we also know nothing about why that would have happened. I mean, nobody has any idea why that would have happened and why maybe the rest of his socials are next. No clue. None. TV and Karen have completely ruined a community and broken so many families and friendships apart. How anyone can still support them is beyond me. Unity should also be shunned in the community. Make no mistake when I say Unity has kind of already been shunned in the legal community. There are a lot of people who are disgusted with him, and he was a well-respected attorney before this. Jackson's done a lot of damage to his reputation, and because Unity allowed to continue on with it, you know? Yeah, exactly. Another statement proving that Court TV is right. That's right. No, I mean, I think they contact me just because, like, maybe other victims have told them they did, you know? And no, I don't share details or names or anything like that unless someone asks me to. I don't, you know? I don't think any of those people know how to maintain professionalism at all. Like, you know? So that's the thing. He is not supposed to be directly or indirectly harassing them. It's definitely breaking the order if he does so. And I think he definitely already has, you know? Oh my god, yes, Christina. Yes. I have only done one of those one time, and I wanna do another one so bad. Those, like, paint wine nights. I wanna do another one so bad. Yes. No, my best friend passed away, TB2. She passed away, years and years ago. She, she was in a coma for 6 days, but she, unfortunately did not wake up, even though I begged her to. So, Yeah, no, it had nothing to do with him. She just passed a while ago. This is long before any of this happened. Um, she never even hit the age of 30, so she passed away a couple years, 2 years before my youngest was born, so thank you. We've seen new text messages of hers that are under protective order, aka the defense leaked it to him. Right. And claims we'll find out at trial. Yeah, well, what he doesn't understand about that is he's an absolute idiot for even saying that, and he can get in big trouble. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Can get in trouble, especially if they think she has anything to do with it and that there's any evidence. They could take her phone, they could take her devices, and she could be charged, especially with the harassment that she likes to engage in. I wouldn't be surprised if she was charged. Why? Is that Vinnie Politan having them on? That's disgusting. That is utterly disgusting. They have no one from the opposing side. Why not? I know that's not on Julie's show, so it has to be on Vinny's. And no offense, but I would never go on Vinnie Politan's show. He hosts a bunch of liars. No chance. I'm wearing my pink Paris sweatshirt today because I love it. Ugh, no! Pink is my favorite color. I will not let her ruin it for me. I will not let her ruin it for me. Yeah, I sent that information to the Commonwealth via email, just like anybody else can do, because that is under protective order, and that would be breaking a protective order by leaking that information to him, per usual. Yeah, Julie does an amazing job on her show, and she doesn't invite people on that are freaking liars. So, yeah, my Justice for John sweatshirt is not supposed to come until tomorrow, and now I have to buy a T-shirt because otherwise, I'm just gonna wear the sweatshirt and I might get hot. So I'm like, now I got to get a T-shirt too. And I got the blue sweatshirt, so I'm gonna have to get the blue T-shirt too. You know, blue is the thing. She's not gonna ruin my pink. Yes, yep, he's gonna use a 15-second clip. But I don't know which one. It's a good question. I don't know which one. I think it's gonna be pretty good though. Um, yeah, nobody should have to anyway. He didn't even cross-examine. Like, Carrie has nothing to do with anything. Like, oh, grave, not that I know of. Not that I know of. Karen did not date Tom CPU, not that I know of. JLR is another like YouTube creator. And he basically came here. Yeah, it was Tom that assaulted JLR. He kicked him. He came here and basically gave back to FKR what they do to everyone else, and they did not like it. Yeah, he compared himself to Jesus, died from Facebook and will rise again. That it is disturbing. If anybody didn't find that disturbing, I don't know what fucking, you know what I mean? Like what would make them wake up at that point? JLR is gonna be a cat amongst the pigeons for sure. Can't wait. I wonder if he's stopping at the Omni. I wonder. Meister said TechStream is just the name of the software used by Toyota to read their data from the black boxes. You can think of it like Celebrite, just a software reading the data. Yeah, it is a lottery, but I thought they did it by week, not every day. I thought they did it by like week. No? Rumble Rat. Yeah, of course he does. If you think Toyota was please look into JLR's past before promoting him. I'm not promoting him. I definitely didn't tell people to go follow him or anything like that. I think that would be promoting him. Just mentioning him isn't promoting him. I have no idea about his past, but I will tell you this, Sarah Lynn, I don't judge people based on their past. If I did that, what kind of person would I be? I was an addict at one point in my life. I've been sober 18 years from opiates, and I was a very broken person. I'm a very broken young woman at the age of 18, in my addiction. And I'm a very different person now than I was then. So what kind of person would I be if I judged other people based on their past? I tend to judge people based on me meeting them and getting to know them because I don't think it's fair. And it's happened to me. If everybody judged me based on the crap that spews out of TB's mouth, you know what I'm saying? Like So that's why I don't judge people based on their past. I know nothing about his past. And I'm also not promoting him. I just know that he's coming here and he was here last time. Promoting, I think, would be sending people to his channels and socials and oh, she's definitely worried about that 50. Yeah, it was the bodyguard, one of the bodyguards that she dated. I think he was like a real estate guy, possibly. Um, she's worried about it. She's just not gonna say that. You know what I mean? Yeah, Vinny. It would have to be Vinny, right, DJ? It would have to be. JLR is a horrible past, but yes, everyone has a past, good or bad. It's how you conduct yourself now. Well, that's why I don't. Tomorrow we'll start at 9 a.m. Yes. Today was a little later because we don't have court today, and my little is sick, and I had a lot of stuff going on. So I'm relieved my flight tomorrow isn't until evening. I don't want to miss the opening. No, you don't want to miss the opening statements. But you know that when you have flights, and somebody else was actually messaged me, told me this, that they downloaded a bunch of my streams before they were flying so they could watch them offline, and they watched me during their flights. And I was like, that is freaking amazing. Like, that is amazing. Oh my God, that is the stupidest thing I've ever. Hank Brennan is not afraid of any of these idiots. Like, let's just make that abundantly clear. Okay, the man has done federal, like, none of these people scare him in the least bit. So I find that completely funny. You mean the 70,000 person conspiracy at this point? That would be a good one to play. This is my testimony. The one where she says in the ID discovery, which is this is my testimony. Did you see my thumbnail for this video? It's literally Hank in a suit with a Superman cape. Harmonica in my back pocket. He can testify. If he's called, he has to testify. He can't talk about things that, like, just because he's not a cop anymore, he can't talk about things that, like, just to anyone that he did while he was a cop. Like, you can't, he can testify in court because you have to. You can't say, no, I'm not going to. You have to testify. But there are things he can't tell, like the general public. You know what I mean? He can't go out telling the general public certain things just because he's not a cop anymore. But yeah, he absolutely can testify. I mean, he might not. Well, whether he does or not is to remain to be seen. I have no idea if he's actually going to or not going to, but he can if he's called. Well, that's really mostly what they have is like whatever he said, and really that doesn't explain away at pieces of evidence, Is an early 20th century revivalist tent preacher scamming one town after another. He's scamming the entire nation right now, unfortunately. Hope Hank is having a relaxing day. Yeah. If I would guess what he's doing right now, he's not having a relaxing day. He is definitely still going through paperwork, hammering home details, figuring things out. Like, from what I'm told from people who worked with him in the past, is that he doesn't take a day off. Like, he is always trying to like work, like whether it's rework wording and something he's going to say or the way the witness, like he's doing something. So I have no doubt right at this very second he's probably got like 4 different opening statements that he's written to pick from. Like, as far as I know, he doesn't have any Brady violations. Early 2000s regulation came in for EDR's proper black box to be installed in all cars. Toyota already has MasterTech at the time as a diagnostics tool. To avoid the regulations, they updated it. Interesting. I'm confident Brennan will get us guilty on at least count 2. Lally got 9 guilty, 3 not guilty, and Hank's a much better presenter. Plus, we have 41 clips Hank is bringing in of Karen's own incriminating words. See, that's the thing. We have a different person. We had Lally last time and was still, like she said, got 9 guilty and 3 not guilty. So I have to think with Brennan, it'd be a little bit better. You could do the same thing, Christina. You can rewatch, or you can put one headphone in while you're doing stuff. I do that sometimes. Put one headphone in and listen while I'm doing other stuff. MasterTech became TechStream, but it still didn't meet the regulations because it's proprietary. So Toyota were forced to also install EDRs. That's why their system is such a mess. Yeah. Shocker with Toyota, right? Absolute shocker. Let's see. Did ARCA and the defense comply with the new court orders to hand over discovery? Not that I know of yet. They might have, but we won't know until the morning. Unfortunately, as far as I know, they have not gotten it all in yet. But I guess we'll find out in the morning if that's still a remaining issue. Why am I not surprised? I have zero respect for Vinny. Yeah, me too. It's So Proctor called her some names. Karen Reed and TV have called everyone names. Yeah, everyone and then some. Children, minor children, sick children. They don't give a shit. She reversed herself in her pants. Just saying. Julie Grant's the only one doing real work. You can say that again and say it from the back, so everyone can hear you. Julie is always for the victim, and I got to send her a message today and tell her, like, just always keep up the good work. Like, she always does such amazing work on her show, and I respect the hell out of Julie. She's very intelligent, and she knows what the hell is up, and she's the only one calling it as it is over on that channel. I mean, that's a very real possibility. In this case, technically, you really wouldn't be charged with witness intimidation for a defendant. You know what I mean? Because they're not a witness, they're a defendant, you know? But if she keeps going and harasses the other family members, yeah, she could be charged. Right? I will not let them ruin my favorite color for me. They will not. And Karen doesn't even like pink. She's like, I don't even wear it. She just wanted it to stand out. That's why she said pink. Like, you're not ruining the color pink, Karen, with your zombies, okay? You're not. It is my favorite color. Remember, Hank sends everything to the defense. So no, yeah, he does send everything to defense, and that's totally fine. Cool. Let's do it. So he can send right over to the defense the fact that Aiden Kearney is literally telling on them and himself. See how much they like that. About Vinny Me Too, he's only about the entertainment, not about the truth and justice. He always sides with the defense, doesn't ever start with Kevin, favors Nick, yeah, well, that's the thing. He gives Nick more time. He cuts Kevin off. He lets Nick talk twice as much as he lets Kevin. Like, I have no respect for that. He doesn't even it out. Like, listen, if I'm going to have opposing sides on, they're going to evenly get the same amount to speak. Now, it's one thing if you do it on one show, but it's every single time he lets Nick talk twice as much as Kevin and he cuts Kevin off. So it's like, I won't go. I would never go on his show. Never. You couldn't pay me money to go on his show. No, thank you. I thought he was beyond breaking his protective order, especially how freely, like, talk about poor Jen McCabe and how she's a murderer. It makes my teeth itch, but my heart break all the time for her. Yeah, no kidding. It's just shitty. She's about to shit in her pants tomorrow when she hears Hank's coming for her in his opening, right? Imagine. I despise JLR. He spent years stalking heels, and I do not like Dolly, but in the Karen Reed case, they're right and hate that they're right, but they are. You know what I mean? Like, I again, I don't know much about either one of those people. The most I know about JLR is he showed up at the last trial and kind of gave back to Aiden what Aiden had been giving to other people for a very long time. Yeah, pretty much. Grave. Isn't that rich? Isn't it? Also, yeah, I won't watch anything either of his at all. Like, I watch Julie and then I come here. You know what I mean? That's it. Like, I will not watch Vinny. If his phone recorded steps ascending flights when he was still in the car, couldn't Karen Reed's phone show the same steps? Well, it could or it might not. See, that's the problem. Different phones could show different things. One phone might show steps and one might not. Like, if you're, like, standing next to someone and you both move your arms like this, one might show steps and one might not. Like, it literally is like device to device. Yeah, 9. It should be 9 in the morning, so I should be starting, like, 8:30, I think, would be, yeah, about a half an hour before court because it should be starting at 9. Um, yeah, could say that again, Diana. Um, he is scared, and he should be, to be honest. His phone was being used as a sat nav lightly in his hand. Karen's phone was likely static in a holder. Yeah, it could be. A candy vending machine took my money. Hell, I'm Randy Weaver, and this is Ruby Ridge. You can get Wi-Fi on the plane? Maybe that person just didn't have Wi-Fi on the plane they were on, I don't know. No, I love Hank in a Superman cape too. Brennan stood across from the mob man who admitted to 20 plus killings. I think he can handle a turtle. Exactly. Like, dude, he dealt with the mob and corruption in the government, bro. You think he's afraid of you? Stop it. Like, oh, I'm so curious to see what the defense is going to say in their opening. Yeah, the man is a workhorse, and he doesn't really care for the DOJ, so. Excuse my geeking out. Listen, I'm a geek too, you know? I'm a little bit of a nerd in ways. I think with a truly impartial jury that she could be found guilty on all 3 counts, but, we know what is going on behind the scenes. Yeah, well, that's what we're worried about, you know? Um, Sunken Grave, TB's, girlfriend. Me too. I'm dying to hear what they have and all the new experts, like, ooh, I just can't wait to hear them. Like, and let's remember, favorite color is brown because he's full of shit. That's a fact. Um, that's a damn good question. Probably still harass people and be obsessed with me. I'm guessing that. Probably that. She's the only one on planet Earth is that obsessed with me that makes fake accounts. By the way, there is a literal fake account out there of me, and it's like there to like try to like insult me or whatever. I pay no attention to what it says, but if you guys find it, report it. Report the page. The only person who is that obsessed with me is her, so I have no doubt that she made it. Like if it's on X, and so the only account on X that is mine is at Twisted Tragedy 3. That's it. There's one account that's mine. Okay. Anything else that has my name like that one does is not me. Let's make that abundantly clear. Report it. Like just report it. Yeah, no, I know she said something about a couple of half days, but like I know they're not right in the beginning. Thank God, because I can't do it with these stupid half days. It should be 9 a.m., Trevor. I can't wait for the new videos. Remember, that's how my mind went to an intense stop. It was insane. Never thought I'd ever be here or part of this beautiful, but here lies the truth. So here I am. And here you are. Like, here you are. What do you mean? Like a rebuttal? Usually it's just one. Usually it's just the one closing. Yeah, half days are fucking pointless. Like, let me see. Yeah, it was ridiculous. Like, it was ridiculous, that court schedule. It dragged on, you know? It dragged on. I gotta skip some of these comments because I gotta get down to the bottom. My personal issues with people, I keep off social. So, I mean, I don't know why anybody would want to air out their personal problems they have with other people. If you have a personal problem with people, then keep it to yourself. Mm, I didn't finish school. I would love to go back because I have a child with a terminal illness who was born with her rare disease. So I had a lot going on, unfortunately. If I had the time and money, I would. I've been studying law for longer than I can remember since I was that little kid on the stand at 12 years old, having the lawyer ask me the same thing 3 times in different ways to try to catch me up on my answers if I was lying. And I remember in the last time he asked it, I said, "I've already answered this." Like, he was trying to like trip me up. And just in that moment, I became very fascinated with the law. And from like then on, I knew like I wanted to be an attorney. Unfortunately, that's not where my life path went. If I ever had the time and the money to go back and I could do it like mostly virtual from home, I would. I absolutely would. I've been told this about 1 billion times. I've been offered jobs in firms if I just go, you know? Yes, Opening Statements with Julie Grant. It starts at 8 a.m. on Court TV. It's a good show to watch. It is like a bad attempt at stirring up drama. Like my personal problems with people are completely fucking irrelevant. Hey, Nicole. Yeah, I need I need sidebar clips. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, thank you, Nicole. Thank you so much. Yeah, apparently they don't know that. They apparently don't. uh, I'm the only soap dispenser on his channel. You know, Grant definitely is eccentric. You could say that again. Um, I think the one thing that Grant needs to do is separate the drawing of lines from the facts. Like, we can opine about a lot of stuff, right? But that's what we do. We say, okay, let's talk about whether this could happen or not, or whether this might be like a thing that could happen. But you can't draw lines to things that don't exist and connect dots that don't exist as if they're fact. You got to talk about it in a way that it's like, could this happen? Could this be a thing? Not a it's a thing without any evidence to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I cannot answer that, Cheryl. I have no idea. I have no you'd have to ask Grant why he calls himself a towel. I've never asked him that. So I don't know. You'd have to ask Grant. Windows have a full operating system called Windows Forensic Environment that might overtake Celebrate. Interesting. That is interesting tidbit. Well, that's the thing. We've already seen one trial, right, Amber? Like, oh my God, right? Or Bradle saying, "Can't I just assert the fifth for him?" Ooh. And Hank saying no. Can we get those clips, Maestro? Could you clip those for me? Could somebody is anybody good at clipping? I'm not good at, like, the clipping. I know I made my intro and my outro, but, like, taking the time to actually make the clips is, like I could do it, but, like, taking the time to do it is where I would fail miserably. Like, he's called Rowell because he got the cleric's name wrong, and then the cleric called him a towel. Oh, maybe that's why the character Tally in South Park is a stoner. Oh, I get it, okay. The turtle riders called him a towel, so he just ran with it. Yeah, it's more a private family thing, unfortunately, between my parents. And as a 12-year-old kid, I should have never had to testify, to be honest. It was a order violation, um, and you have the right to, like, a hearing, almost like a my parents were split at the time. And I think my mother, it was for, like, a restraining order violation, which there shouldn't have ever been a restraining order, but nonetheless, um, I was a witness, and so they made me get on the stand at age 12, and answer a bunch of questions. Oh, yeah, this happened last time, bunch of people. I told people to fly in for the trial for the family, for the victim, that would make sense to me, but for a person who's the accused, it doesn't make sense, like, oh, well, you know what? That man has no room to speak. He still lives in his parents' basement. His best job was, like, working at a gym or a pizza place. Like, the fact that he has things to say about everybody else on planet Earth and he wants to judge everybody else on planet Earth is effing rich, if you ask me. Okay? Like, come on now. Like, there is no reason on planet Earth he should have anything to say about anybody else with the past that he has. He should just stay in his own fucking lane. You can do commentary without sitting there and trying to disparage everyone. The fact that he gets those dog whistles from his cult leader to act that way, like, I hope it turns many, many people off to watching him, because why would you want to just watch somebody disparage people all day long and make fun of people because they don't believe the same thing that you do? I mean, that's insane. I don't even bother to do anything like that. It's crazy talk. Okay, so we have a $20 donation from Erin, and she sends $20, and she says, "To get trial week started and for all that you do, Elise." Thank you so much, Erin. I appreciate it, my friend. To make sure there's nothing else. If you would like to donate to the channel, there's 300, over 300 of you watching. So if you get the like button, the subscribe button, that would be super duper helpful. Before we get this trial started, of course, if you want to donate to the channel, this is how you do so. We have a Cash App, a Venmo, and a PayPal, and you can also do Apple Pay now with a link that I figured out. So for you Apple Pay people who have been asking me, you can use your Apple Pay with that link, and Free can put it in the comments for you guys. This is all we have right now. We don't have memberships. We don't have monetization. We don't get paid per view. We're working on it. Something we can do other than wait for YouTube at this time, but I'm trying. I'm working on it. YouTube's just notoriously freaking slow. So if you want to support the channel and help out, this is how you can do it. There is a ticker at the bottom of the screen below this big one. Boop, boop, down, right down below my finger here. That scrolls so that throughout the stream, you can get the information anytime you want when I take this one off the screen, like I just did. It helps cover costs. And then, of course, I don't make much. So anything that's over the costs is what I make for income. So I appreciate every single person that donates. I appreciate every single person that shares and likes and subscribes, because it all makes a difference. You know, every time one of you subscribes or anytime one of you comments on the video after it's not live anymore, like that's one of the best things you can do, is go and make sure you hit the like button on YouTube if you're watching over on X, and that if you go and comment on the video when I'm not live anymore, because that shows engagement, and then the algorithm for YouTube might recommend me to someone else watching things like this. So that's a huge help, and I appreciate everything anyone does to help out the channel, because we are just a little channel. I took a 6-month break at one point, and like a 3 or 4-month break at one point, especially with my, with my daughter's illness and stuff. So I'm behind in the game. I'm not even at 3,000 followers at this point, and I should be somewhere near like 15,000 if I had kept going, but I took that break, and so we're a lot smaller than some other channels. So, but I will tell you that during trial, most of you know this already because you followed trial 1 with me, but during trial 2, we're not going to talk during the trial. We don't talk. We talk during sidebars, lunch break, and after trial is over. We do not talk during when testimony for either side, because we want to hear everything. We want to hear every single thing from both sides. We want to hear the way they're saying it. We want to hear the way the questions are worded. We don't want to miss any tiny bit of it. And so anybody who like talks over it or pauses it all the time, like you'll never get through the trial for that day if you keep pausing and talking, right? So like we only talk during sidebars and lunch, and then at the end of the day for a little bit about what we saw for that entire day. So I just want everybody to know, we don't talk through the testimony here. We did it the first trial, we're going to do it the second. Like we want to hear it all of it. Like, all right, let's see. Yeah, I did notice that. I thought that it was a South Park character, the little towel thing. Oh, thank you. It's actually 2 separate ones from 2 separate palettes, a lighter one on the inner corners and a darker one because I'm wearing my purple sweatshirt. So I said, hey, why not match it up? You know what I'm saying? Usually I do a more elaborate look, but I didn't put eyelashes on and I didn't do eyeliner. And it's the day after Easter. I'm just slacking on my pimping right now. But I figured it would match my sweatshirt, with the 2 different colors, the darker and then the lighter on the inner corner. Oh, listen, Nashville's on my bucket list. I've never been to Nashville. It is on my bucket list. It is a place I want to visit. South Park reference, yeah. Right? Hi, Lou. I have never visited Tennessee, but I want to. I want to. I want to. It's on my bucket list. And Freak, maybe you weren't here earlier, but the Pringles from my wish list came, so I appreciate you, my friend. It's like a box of like 6 different kinds of Pringles, and they come in the small little box. So good. So thank you very much. And the piece for my laptop also came. Now I just got to find a tech person in the area to put it in. No new rulings. We probably won't get anything until tomorrow morning. Court is closed today here in Massachusetts because it's Patriots Day. It's a state holiday. It's not a federal holiday. But we already know what they're about because we've seen all those texts between him and Karen. We've seen at least most of them. So at least some of them, we know that basically they talked about the case. And if they're going to do consciousness of guilt, though, I feel like they would use Natalie. She'd be the only other person that can testify to consciousness of guilt. She was the intermediary for them before they started talking on their own. But I do know that he can't help himself when it comes to things. And so even though they used Signal and like a lot of their messages were through the Signal app, which is encrypted, I will tell you that because I know how much he brags and wants to show specific people that like he's awesome and he's cool with that ego and narcissism, I have no doubt in my mind that he screenshotted some of the stuff they talked about in Signal and has it in his phone. So I'm dying to see if they drop any of that during the trial, you know? Yeah, some people get them, some people don't. That's, very, very true. Oh, yeah, they did. They hired crowds on demand last time, so I have no doubt that they're gonna do it this time too to make the crowd bigger because the crowd has gotten small. Listen, I will tell you from the time that I thought maybe she was innocent in the beginning and I went to the courthouse a couple times, that crowd was large, but a lot of those people I've never seen again, ever seen again, okay? But I can tell you this, the crowds from that point to now have gotten smaller. Like, they can keep saying they've gotten bigger all they want. They've gotten smaller. Like, I promise you, they have gotten smaller. It's like a core member of like 40 people, about I'd say about 40 people that sit outside that courthouse. Like this core like group of people. Um, and then maybe a couple extras that are like curious. Other than that, it's the same, but they're smaller. It's smaller. Oh, no, yeah, he definitely did. He can't help himself. Cannot help himself, Jesse. Nashville is great. It's a very vibrant city with so much to do and see. The live music is I like that's within an hour's drive of 100 waterfalls. Ooh, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's on my bucket list. I'm telling you. I also heard they have sort of like what we have for the Saco River in New Hampshire and Maine, which I go to every year. They have like a river somewhere in Tennessee that you can float down. And I would love that too. Like, I don't need to feel confident in Trooper Paul's calculations of the data because I can look at the data itself and know that Karen backed up without his calculations 60 feet, 24 point something miles per hour. And within seconds, John's phone stops moving forever and is found in the same spot that he is found at 6 in the morning. So I don't need his calculations to tell me that she hit him with that car and that he never went in the house. All I have to do is look at the actual hard data myself. That's another thing I think Hank might actually talk about. I agree. It's stuff he did last time. He gives dog whistles for other people to do it for him so he doesn't get in trouble. So what he'll do is say, "Oh, I can't tell you what the juror looked like," and he'll tell somebody else and have them leak it from some fake account. I mean, it's what he does. The court's very well aware of the shit he does. That's another thing. 75% acceleration. She did it at 75% acceleration. Nobody who isn't angry isn't accelerating 75%. Not 25%, not 50%, 75% acceleration. So I don't need Trooper Paul's calculations to show me. I can see the hard data myself with my own two eyes. No, they were awful. Terrible. The store owners hated it. They were rude, ignorant. Anybody who came they thought wasn't FKR, they would scream at, yell at, follow. Yeah, no. Well, that's another thing. Carrie had no idea. She just thought she was helping, find and then try to save her friend. Carrie is the one who did CPR on John. Karen said, "I was the only one trying to save his life." Well, then why was Carrie the one doing CPR? You know what I'm saying? Oh, I have no doubt that Hank will keep that in the opening, 100%, because you're gonna want to sort of hit those points about what she said and how he's gonna prove that after she hit him, she went into instant cover-up mode. Like, that's what we're gonna see. Like, we're gonna see a lot of Hank sort of hammering away at the points of it all, you know? So let's just hope that Marie Russell answers the questions the same way that she did last time and makes herself look like a fool. And Richard Green doubles and triples down on his nonsense that Ian Whiffen and Jessica Hyde will then blow right directly out of the water. I have heard that the first week of witnesses will be really good. I think Hank has sort of, and as we already guessed, sort of taken people out that you didn't really need, like extra people out that you didn't really need, and sort of just started with like the main people that you would need to prove what happened to John. And so I'm happy to sort of hear the whispers of the first week being like good, you know what I mean, of people. So I'd say pay attention to the witnesses that they call in the first week. And that it's going to be very eventful. Yeah, did I clip him? Dr. Welch. Yeah, I can't wait to hear from him either. Jesse said, right, and none of them even really knew how to do CPR. Carrie was doing her best. She didn't know what was going on. Besides, it was John, and John needed help. You know what makes me really sad about that is I know how to do CPR, and I've done CPR in an emergency 3-4 times throughout, years and years and years. But every 2 years, working at the prison, you had to recertify your CPR, and you had to learn for children and adults, even though it was just an adult prison. You had to learn for both for your CPR certification. And it's just like sad when like something like that happens and someone who's not CPR, like it literally take maybe a couple hour, maybe 2-hour class, guys, like get CPR certified, know how to do CPR, know how to do the Heimlich, but definitely know how to do CPR. It could save someone's life. Literally. My best friend died because she was left without oxygen to the brain for over 30 minutes. Ultimately, she had no brain activity because nobody did CPR. And she was without any oxygen to the brain for an extended period of time. Even 5 minutes without oxygen to the brain can do brain damage to the point where your body will never recover. So when I say it's important to know CPR, I mean it's super important to know CPR. It's a men's prison for the criminally insane, Christy. Bridgewater is a men's prison for the criminally insane here in Massachusetts. And I worked there. And we were taught how to de-escalate, number one. But number two, we're taught how to hold a full-grown man going into a, freak out so that he can't move. Specific holds that are allowed, not allowed, ones that are illegal and banned, like, your knees going to your chest. They used to do that as like a basket hold. That is illegal almost everywhere because the person can stop breathing. Like it crushes it up to their chest and can't sit on their back. Like, I don't know why anybody would do that anyway, but they taught us ways to hold a full grown man so he can wiggle around, and so that he can't even headbutt you in the position you're standing in. They can move their head back, but they can't, and they can move side to side like this, but they cannot like do anything to hurt you. And we're talking about, again, a full grown man. Like it doesn't matter if he's stronger than you or not. He's not getting out of that hold. So like you're taught how to do this, especially as a woman working in an all men's prison for the criminally insane. And there was a lot of us that worked there, like a lot of women. So I mean, my unit was the intake unit. So some of these people had been off meds for an extremely long period of time and were full like in psychotic episodes. Like, so I mean, it's Bridgewater's job most of the time to see if somebody is fit to stand trial or not. And if not, you have to just keep reassessing them. But it's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. But I will tell you, I enjoyed my job there. Some of these people, even though with mental health issues, have some amazing talents. Art being one of them. I used to get these really beautiful pictures. Some of them would draw me. I had a lot of respect with the inmates there. And funny enough, like if an inmate would start a problem with you as a staff member, like it might take a second for security to get there. If you have good relationships with these people and you respect them and they respect you, more often than not, some of these inmates will actually step in front of you if someone tries to attack you before security can ever get there. Like, no, you're not. No. My husband hated it because I was pregnant with my youngest. After working there for a while, I got pregnant, obviously. So like he hated when I was working there when I was pregnant because it's a risk. I'm working directly with the inmates. Like, so, but I was very safe and
And I loved my job there. I just couldn't afford 40, 30, $40,000 in childcare at the time. So, unfortunately, I had to stay home with my little because I would have just been paying most of my paycheck to gas and daycare. But I can't wait to hear Dr. Welcher either. It's going to be very interesting. The defense wants him excluded, and they want him excluded for a reason because it ruins their conspiracy. You know, he's been an expert a bunch of times. I wonder if we can find any of the times he's testified before. Garrett Wing. Well, he's not allowed to testify to certain things, the judge said. So I don't even really know what he's going to testify to. Like, what is he going to testify to? If he's not allowed to testify about the investigation, that was the whole point of having him testify. Then what's he gonna testify to? Like, oh yeah, it's always the blame game. But this is why I say it's important for everyone to know. You should know CPR. I mean, 911 will tell you how to, but it's different between somebody telling you how to and you already knowing where to do it and how, you know? Yeah, 12:31, that's what I keep hearing. I don't remember them saying the exact time, but I do remember them saying that they knew the time. I gotta find the clip. I will find the clip for you, Eva, I promise. I know. I don't think you know what I mean? I wanna know that ARCA can't comply. I don't think they can comply, you know? Oh, make no mistake, Karen definitely has, like, a team that's ready to, like, do her hair and makeup before court, which is so ridiculous, like and Botox, yeah, don't forget about that. She's Botox too. I could use a little Botox, I think. Maybe, like, around my frown lines or something. Somewhere over here. Use some Botoxy right there. Botox is extremely expensive. I know insurance will pay for it now for, like, headaches and stuff. Yes, knowing CPR could save someone's life. Literally. Like, you should know them. A lot of places will have, like, classes for CPR for free, like local health departments, things of that nature. And yeah, once you know it, you'll forever know it. Just like Jesse just said it. Like, once you know it, like, you can't forget it. You know what I mean? I don't know, Anna. We don't know if they made the deadline because the deadline was Friday and court's not open today. So we won't know until the morning whether they did or didn't meet the deadline for the first stuff for ARCA. And I knew Grant as a person, like, personally, so I think I know a little bit more about him than, other people. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. He's the dog expert. But still, like, what are you going to testify to? Because he's not going to be allowed to say it was Chloe specifically. So what are you going to testify to? You know what I'm saying? Like, and as we know, the Commonwealth has their own expert for that. And of course, they have the molds, right? So what's Garrett Wing going to do when presented with the molds? Like, you know what I mean? Well, that's another thing. You can look it up. Like King said, you can look it up on CPR and watch a couple videos. I mean, it would be the same thing as really being in person and watching someone do it on a dummy. That's what they have you do it on, is a dummy. A baby dummy and a regular size dummy. Yeah, especially the Heimlich if someone's choking, like, that's listen, I remember when kids were little, anybody's kids when they were little ever choke on, like, a piece of food and you just, like, stuck your fingers in their mouth and scooped it out, like, "Yep, parent, I've done that." Done it for my nephew one time too, like, choking on a chip or something, I was able to stuck my fingers right in his mouth and pulled it out. Yeah, why didn't she call 911? You know? Yeah, they went out in a blizzard to help her look for John. Like, yeah, because 'cause they're such bad people. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Oh, I have no doubt they'll cheat. They'll try, at least. But Hank isn't gonna keep putting up with it. I think you'll hear a lot more objections than you heard last time, too. I feel like there were some things Lally definitely should have objected to and didn't, and I was shocked, and I criticized it at the time, but I don't think you'll find that with Hank. I think you'll find that he will object to every single thing. Problem is, again, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. So if the defense does something that can bias the jury, they know that even if it's struck from the record, the jury isn't gonna forget what just happened, even though they're supposed to, like, disregard it. That's what it being struck from, you know what I mean? But at the same time, They're not going to. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. The defense knows that. They're going to do that and try to get away with it. Like, come on. Yeah. They criticize someone calling 911. It's like, wake up, someone called. Like, and to be fair, I've said this a million times. I'm extremely calm when an emergency like that happens because I've been around. My little sister has epilepsy and she's grand mal seizures. So like the full seizures. My nephew also has epilepsy, but he is med resistant. And so I've been through like my sister being intubated and all sorts of stuff. So like I am super calm when it comes to like having to do CPR on someone, a medical emergency, anything like that. I am super calm now because it's happened to me more than once where I've been, and I know if I'm freaking out, it's not going to help anybody. Usually everybody else around me is freaking out because they've never been through a situation like that. But anybody who's ever been in even one situation like that before, you tend to be calmer the second or the third or the fourth time than you were, you know what I mean? And also, again, fight, flight, or freeze. Those are your normal like things. Fight, flight, and freeze. Some people freeze, some people flight, and some people fight. Mine's all messed up from my CPTSD, so I always fight. I never flight even when you should. Like if there's a house on fire, you should want to flight from that house, right? That's the normal response would be to freeze or to flight. Not me, not my brain. My brain goes, somebody might be inside, I'm going in. Even if it's detrimental to me, like, or for instance, like when I was with Ashley trying to climb over her to go down into a ditch to a smoking car to make sure nobody's inside of it. Like you should want to flee or freeze. And I don't. I fight. And everybody's different. Some people freeze, some people flight, some people fight. But your brain should be telling you like, okay, this is a dangerous situation. You're either gonna freeze or flight away from it. But every single person is different in what their brain reacts to it in the way that it does. So to criticize the way someone acted or didn't act, it's like, okay, take that same criticism and apply that to Karen. Karen said, that body did not hit my car. She didn't say, she called John that body. Okay. Now that's herself trying to separate herself from John as if he's not a person, right? Like that's Psych 101. She's literally separating herself from him as if he is not someone that she supposedly loved and dated for 2 years, that he's just an object or a thing, dehumanizing who he was and sort of separating herself. Oh, you found it, Barb? Can you send it to me? Please. Pretty please. I have that fear too, Lou. I think we all do, but I do think that Hank is doing his due diligence. So I think if he thinks that there is one, and let's get real here. Most of them make themselves known by either facial expressions or nodding their head or shaking their head or making comments to other jurors that someone overheard. Like they sort of present themselves. So let's just hope that they rat themselves out accidentally and to get dismissed, and that we have an impartial jury, people who have never heard of this before, that they can start from scratch and move on. I guess we'll find out, but I don't have a ton of faith that the judge won't still just let them, like you said, Yeah, they can testify to like where the similarities are and like what a normal like breed of that dog's mouth looks like. Things of that, like general things of like that nature. It's still gonna make him look silly, like you're saying this dog theory happened, but the pieces of tail light that we know that there's a piece that literally matches the marks on John's arm. So he's kind of going to look real dumb. Like, and also the data from the car and John's phone data. Like, you can opine your opinion about a dog bite all you want, but the evidence does not support that. So if I'm a juror, right, and you're talking about dog bites, you have nothing to show me that it's dog bite. There's no dog DNA. They swabbed every hole. No dog DNA at all, but there's pig DNA, which means it didn't all get washed off, right? So there's no dog DNA. There's no dog anything. There's not even dog hair, okay? His phone never goes in the house, but magically he went in the house, got beat up, dragged down the basement, dog bit him, and then he was thrown back outside with his phone that never went in the house, but was found in the same spot he was found in his pocket. And Karen said she tried to take it out of his, like her own admissions are going to smoke her here. Like, literally, you know? King says, my father was a paramedic for over 30 years. He always told us, do not panic in an emergency because we can't think straight when we panic. That's right. They teach it to you in the military too. Navy SEALs, they mess up your oxygen thing while you're connected to it. And you're taught, like, and you're underwater in this giant pool at the bottom. And they come around and they mess up your thing, and you have to fix it while holding your breath and not panic. And the first thing that they teach you is to not panic, because if you're panicking, you're just going to go straight to the surface and fail. You're not going to actually stop and think about how to fix this quickly so that you can breathe. Right? Like, it's in SEAL training. Like, come on now. You always should try to calm yourself and breathe before panicking. It's easier said than done. But, it's always best in an emergency to try to keep a level head. Been there, done that, especially medical emergencies. Yeah, I know. With Bev, it just Judge Canoni, she's just a wild card, really. Sometimes, like King said, I know it's easier said than done. Yeah, it's easier said than done. We can't help someone when we're panicking. We can't, and you can't. You have to like chill to be able to help them. Like, it also pisses me off that she never holds him to the fire, and I think you'll see that Brendan's probably gonna push further for that to happen instead of just letting them get away with it. The rhetoric on X is now harping on not seeing John in the car with the interior light on per Heather Maxim. Okay, just because Heather didn't see him doesn't mean he wasn't there. Let's just remember that. You know what I mean? You can send it to my email, Barb, twistedtragedies3@gmail, or you can send it to me on X in a regular message at twistedtragedy3, or on Facebook, or on Discord. Probably stepped out of the car and bent down over to grab the glasses, or he was tying his shoe, whatever, right? Like, just because Heather Maxim didn't see him doesn't mean he wasn't there. Just because she doesn't remember seeing him doesn't mean he was there. He could have been leaning in his seat and all she saw was Karen's head and the dome light on. He could have been leaning out of the car, right? There could have been a million things that could have happened. He could have just stepped outside the car and was behind the car when they drove past. Like, a million things could have happened that she didn't see him. Doesn't mean he wasn't there, obviously. And also, his phone shows his movements. His phone shows his movements. You got that right, Jack. You got that right, Jack. We are on trial eve. That is for damn sure. Yeah, X or Discord. Do we know races of jurors? Not that it matters, but since Karen Reed is trying to get BLM on her side, I'm curious now. I don't. I do not know. I could probably try to find out, though. Smoke and mirrors cut through it with the lack of evidence. That's right. That is right, Anna. Yeah, they swabbed every hole. They swabbed every hole. Right? Breathing techniques. That's smart. Box breathing is a great technique. Highly recommend it. See what I'm saying? Like, some smart people over here. Some of your parents were smart teaching you guys this stuff. Everything does sound dirty. You must have swab every hole. Every hole, goddammit. They swabbed every friggin' hole, all right? They did. Not my fault. They did it. That's what they did. Murder by Maestro was also looking for that clip. Yeah, I can send it to him too if she doesn't figure out how. Do you think the judge swabbing the holes euphemism? You got it, Anna. You got it, Anna. Hold on, guys. I got Venmo. I gotta read. Hold on. While I'm doing that, if anybody else wants to donate, you can do so these 3 ways, or you can subscribe. It's always a help. For sure. Come on, phone. It's like slow motion. Let's see. All right. So, Jack sends $10. Thank you, Jack. Tomorrow, here we go. Thanks, Jack. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much. Make sure I'm not missing anybody, of course. Never want to miss anybody. All right, perfect. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate you, my friend. Okay. Just want to get all the little things off my screen so that doesn't mess it up. All right, let's see. An email. Okay. I'll make sure. I always check my emails directly after the show. So, and I do always answer. So, yeah, it is an important point because they do know that his phone never went in the house. They have the range on it. Like, it could have been a magic dog, Amber. I do think the judge is going to have something to say to the defense when this is over. If there's a result in the case and it's not a hung jury, I do think that. I do think that she is going to have something to say, and I do think that if Karen is found guilty, that the judge is going to throw the book at her, to be honest. Compliance for the ARCA motion was due today at 12 p.m. Oh, that's right. Court's not open today, though. I mean, the judge can probably access, like, whether they, sent it or not, but court's not open today. It's a holiday here in Massachusetts. It's Patriots Day. So we won't know until the morning time, unfortunately. Thank you, Barb. Let me see if I can pull it up for us to watch on my email. Let's see. I know Eva wanted to see this. Hold on. All right, let's see. All right. Did it go? Nope. Maybe it's in my spam. Nope, not in the spam. Let's see. Let's see. I see sunken graves, but I don't see yours, Barb. Is it? Nope, I don't see it yet. I guess I'll keep an eye on it and see if it pops up. Make sure you spell it right. It might have spelt it wrong on the email, and maybe that's why, because I don't see it yet. It's Twisted Tragedies 3 at gmail.com. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see it yet. Let's see. Well, there was two. There was 2 dates. Friday was one, and then the 21st today was the second. So there was 2 due dates for separate things. So, oh my, right? Tune of the day. Vote swabbing. Swabby deck. I think Jackson was the one who said that he was, and obviously we're going to have Hank Brennan doing the Commonwealths, but I remember the judge asking if Yannetti was going to do it again, and Jackson saying no, that he was going to. Like, yeah, I'm not looking forward to hearing it either, but I do want to hear, like, if they change their theory from the first trial to this one, which I have no doubt that they harp more on the investigation this time and how bad it was compared to the third party culprit, which again, in order to use third party culprit, you actually need evidence to support that. And they don't have it. So I don't know how they think they're ever even going to use that even a little bit. Like, that's the thing. Jackson was very, like, you know, rude and ignorant to some of the witnesses, and there was no need for it. Like, that could explain the vomit if he was bending out and he was puking. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Also, a head strike is consistent with throwing up, you know? Um, yeah, Hank will be doing it for the Commonwealth. Jackson, I think, he said he was doing the opening, so I don't see why he wouldn't also do the closing, you know? Yeah, Jackson this time instead of Yannetti. But what's Yannetti there for then? Like, what's he there? Is he just gonna sit there? Or is he not gonna sit there? And that's why he's asking for Victoria George to have the Pro Hoc Vice license. I still haven't figured out what's going on there, but clearly something's going on there. There's very clearly something is up in that department. Not sure what it is yet, but we'll figure it out. Patches O'Houlihan says, if Karen insists she saw him go in the house, how in any scenario could there be a scenario where she's saying, maybe I could have clipped him? Exactly. Why would you think you clipped him if you saw him go in the house? Remember, she didn't come up with the I saw him walk up the, walkway and pop his head into the doorway until like almost a year or more later when she did an interview. Nobody had heard that story. No one until that question was asked of her. So I don't know. That's a damn good point, because why would you think you would have clipped him if you watched him walk up? You wouldn't have. So that doesn't really make sense. You know what I mean? Like, this is why I say, like, her own words are really what's going to be the nail in the coffin, because they're not consistent. Like, he is a closer, Mike, but he's the one who told the judge he was going to be doing the opening. She asked who was doing the opening. Was it going to be Mr. Yannetti? And he said, no, it was going to be him. So I have no idea why, but that is what Jackson told Judge Cannoni, is that he was doing the opening. Hank talks Bluetooth data and temperature of John's phone. Yes, that's exactly what we were looking for, is that clip. I'm going to have to keep looking in my inbox and just, I guess, seeing if it... Oh, here it is. Hold on. Hold on. I got this. Okay. All right, hold on. I want to get this on the screen for you guys. Hold on. Here it is. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, that had been confirmed by Jackson. He's doing the opening. I'm a snake. Yeah, it had been confirmed he was doing it. I almost prefer Leslie to Jackson. No, thank you. I'll fall asleep. Will the Commonwealth change? Why would the Commonwealth change their theory? Yeah, and convulsions. The Commonwealth's definitely not going to change their theory. Wonder if JLR would be at the Omni. Probably. Possibly. Do you think Lally will question anything? No, I don't think... I think Hank would be doing all the questioning, to be honest. I bet Hank won't let Jackson get away with his snarky comments in front of the jury this time. No, I definitely don't think Hank's going to allow him to get away with that. It's going to be an objection to commentary. That's unnecessary. You're absolutely right, DJ. I don't think that's going to happen. Oh, she definitely has it. A brand new suit. I don't know how John dealt with her for 2 years. You're totally right about that. He had to leave early the other day because he had a conflict that he has to attend. So George had to... Yeah, but she doesn't have to take up Pro Hoc VJ just because you don't actually have to be there every single time just to hold licenses. So there was no reason for him to do that. Jackson and Alessi can still practice on Yannetti's license even if he has to leave. So that, you know what I mean? That's what doesn't make sense to me is just because he had to leave or wouldn't be there a day doesn't mean that Pro Hoc VJ needs to be handed off to someone else. They can still practice under his license. He doesn't need to be there. Well, Mike, you know what else is new? Karen telling people John took her glass and that she pulled a piece of glass out of his nose. So when you get more information, you can answer more questions. We don't know whether we had no idea how the glass ended up on the bumper, right? We also didn't know that he could have possibly had 2 glasses instead of 1 glass. Karen's the one who said that he took the glass. So, you know, when the defendant decides to open her yapper and give details, you got to look into them. You have to look into whether they're plausible or not. You're not going to have an answer to every single thing. Unfortunately, in a case, and you never will. But it would be inappropriate if they didn't look into some of the things she said to see if they were plausible or not, and to explain some of the things that were unexplained before. That's not changing your theory. They haven't changed their theory at all. Their theory is that John was hit by the Lexus. That's not changing your theory. That's answering other questions that needed to be answered. Changing their theory would be coming up with a completely different theory about what happened to John and how. Like, the theory is that he was hit by Karen's car. That is the theory. Like, John DePetro heard inside court, all she does is complain she has a headache, stomachache, or she's tired. Oh, well, that's tired from doing nothing? That's funny. Unfortunately for her, she has to sit through her entire trial, so I guess she's just going to have that headache and stomachache. Wah, wah. I don't feel bad for her. Like, what do you mean that doesn't answer the question? I did just answer your question. You just said, is the Commonwealth going to change their theory? No, the Commonwealth's not changing their theory. Their theory is still that Karen struck him with the car. Their question to be answered was, could the glass have broken the taillight? Not, did he throw the taillight at the car itself? I mean, did he throw a glass at the car itself? Or did he have it in his hand and it hit the car? Their theory was only, could they shoot a glass at the taillight? And could the glass have broken the taillight? That's it. It's not the same thing. The Commonwealth isn't saying that he threw a glass at the taillight yet. Not as far as I know. If that's something that they decide that they have evidence of, then they do. What do you mean? But what John did is new. Once again, there are questions that are never going to be answered. You're never going to have every single answer to every single question. You're just not. In any case, that's going to be the case, right? You're never going to have every single answer to every question. But if a defendant says, I picked a piece of glass out of his nose and he was gushing blood, well, it couldn't have been after 6 because there was no signs of life. That's why they started to do CPR. He wasn't breathing. Like, he was already gone at that point. So he wouldn't have been gushing blood then. So when did she pick a piece of glass out of his nose then? It would have had to been before that. Well, in 18-degree weather, it's could be. How do you know? Maybe a glass did break a taillight. We don't know that. Like, we don't know because we don't have all the evidence. But the Commonwealth and the defense were given all of that. So if the Commonwealth has evidence that happened, then they do. Like, anything can break a taillight. It was 18 degrees outside. 18. It was cold. Like, oh yeah, it's definitely for control purposes. Like, morning, Penny. All right, I'm gonna play this because we want to hear this. There's two clips. This one's like 1 minute and 8 seconds, and the other one is however many seconds. So let's play this one first.
In this case, because it shows time and place with the new information that we have. So we know from the Waze information exactly where that car went from the waterfall to the flagpole. We know where it didn't stop along the way. We know, based on the phone data, Mr. O'Keefe's phone data, when he was in the car until. We have all that evidence, and as a bioengineer, he can consider all of that technical data, which will be introduced through other witnesses at trial before he testifies. And it's important. The location and timing of that car is important. This is all science and data. It's not witness testimony. It's science and data. And it puts that car at that flagpole at the time Mr. O'Keefe is there with his cell phone, locked into the Bluetooth in that Lexus until he gets out of the car after 12:30. And within 2 minutes, we allege this collision occurs. And there's Apple Health data, there's location data, there's cell phone battery temperature. It all coincides. He should be able to consider these things in his study. This is what he does.
All right, there's one more. Maybe that talks about the seatbelt because I didn't hear the seatbelt.
The demonstration at Meadowbrook, John O'Keefe's house, is depicted by measurements which has been provided, science and data, by the ring videos, which will be independently admissible. And we see the gentle nudging of that Lexus into Mr. O'Keefe's car. And there has been allegations, claims, suggestions that that's where the taillight may have broken despite the other contrary evidence. You can see in the presentation, he actually shows not only the nudging and the car leaving through the ring video, but analyzes it, and you can see exactly where those two cars came into contact, and it wasn't the taillight. You can see through his demonstration or through his study of the materials he presented that the snow is on the back of Mr. O'Keefe's bumper until the nudge, and you can see the exact spots where the snow comes off. This is science and data. This is an opinion. This isn't witness testimony. And the jury should see that very evidence. It'll be admissible not only through him, but through independent witnesses.
There it is, folks. I mean, I didn't hear a time. Basically says within 2 minutes John's hit. So, you know, that would make it between 12:30 and 12:32, obviously. Yeah, you don't need a cannon. Like, I mean, I don't know about Alan Jackson, but I do think Yannetti probably is sorry. I don't know. Alan Jackson probably doesn't give a shit, but I'm guessing that Yannetti might. Like, you know. Amber said, here's the fact. She hit him. His hair is in her taillight. Well, the hair was on the bumper. There's touch DNA inside the housing of the taillight. There's zero other explanation. She hit him. Well, I mean, we know with the data. I mean, he certainly wasn't beat up within 4 seconds. That's the amount of time that they would have had. 4 seconds. Have fun, freak. Have a good day, my friend. You know what I mean? Hank Brennan watches everything. Make no mistake. He watches everything. He pays attention to everything, you know? I commented about Arca, a potato gun to a porch light in Yellow Cottage Jails in the next hearing. He said potato thing for the first time. Yeah, I mean, he definitely does watch. That's for sure. Like, yeah, I don't think that's true at all, Mike. It was 18 degrees, and it most certainly, definitely has. What do you mean? Are you trying to say that temperature couldn't make something easier to break or harder to break? Or the density of the glass? 12:30. Yeah, one of the things was that was only one out of the 2 questions Arca was tasked with. Ricocheting glass can't take a man's sneaker off, but a woman's Lexus can. He didn't throw the glass. He was hit by her. That's the thing. I think when he was hit, maybe the glass went up and hit the car, made a dent. But, you know, he just also, there could be, he could have had 2 glasses. We now know that, well, Karen says that he took Karen's glass out. So maybe he was holding his glass and Karen's glass. You know what I mean? And also, Bree here does accidents. That's literally her job. This is what she does. This is what she does for a living. And that's my adopted mommy. So you mess with her, you get knuckle sangies from me. Me either. I can't wait for the opening either. I think it's going to be great. You know, I want to hear both of them. Like, touch DNA on the taillight, was it on the outside of the glass or inside the inside. So as far as I understand it, it was inside the housing, inside the taillight housing. So not sure. I mean, clearly that would mean it's inside, like after it broke. Maybe his finger or his hand got in there. I'm not sure, but they say the touch DNA is inside the housing. Yeah, they're definitely not made of steel, that's for sure. Steel taillights? We know what science is, Mike. You're not the only person who does science. My point is you cannot say, especially with science, that temperature wouldn't matter or the density of the glass wouldn't matter or the force wouldn't matter. All of that matters. All of it. Yeah, inside the taillight housing, sunken grave. Inside the taillight housing. 9. I mean, again, you have to remember when they start, it's not just going to immediately start with Hank doing the opening. It's going to start, the judge is going to go over any issues that like already need to be done before they start. Then they're going to swear in the jury. Then they're going to, you know what I mean, give explanation to the jury. And that, so I would guess like closer to 10 is when they would start the openings, Christina. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you that they'd start right at 9 with openings, but that's not realistically what's going to happen. They'll probably start closer to 10 to the opening statements. If, you know, if I had to sort of guess a time, obviously give or take, but it would be closer to 10 o'clock that they would start the openings, not 9. That's for sure. Hold on one second. I have... Yeah, they're gonna, you know, resolve any of those motions first. They're gonna do a whole lot of like little things that they need to deal with along the way before they ever start the opening. You have to swear in the jury, you have to give jury instruction. Yeah, before they even bring the jury in, they're gonna deal with any of the other things that they still have left over to deal with from motions, you know? I have a $25 donation from Mark. Thank you, Mark, so much. It says, keep up the good work. I appreciate it, my friend. I appreciate you. I appreciate anybody, obviously, that donates to the channel. There's almost 400 of you watching. If you guys could do me a favor, we are 2 hours in. If you could hit the like button, the subscribe button, that would really help. Share the video with people. You can donate to the channel to help out because we don't have memberships and that stuff. We're not monetized right now. We're still waiting on YouTube to get that. So if you want to donate to the channel and help out, this is how you can do it. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. And then we have also below this big one is a ticker that runs across the screen at the bottom of the one you're watching where my face is, with all that information so that I can pull this big one down here. I appreciate everybody who helps out. It just a little means a lot. Okay, let's see. Where's Joy? I've been haven't seen her in a couple days. I love when she gives her lawyerly input. I know sometimes she watches from the bushes, but Joy, are you here, my friend? Let's see. Yeah, I'm sorry, Christina. I'm sorry. Once again, doesn't matter what it's designated to withstand. There are parameters that it's designated. Also, I love when people say, well, the taillight's polycarbonate, made out of some. It's not all polycarbonate. Like, you seem to think that nothing can break a taillight, which is so ridiculous to me. It's not even funny. Like Bree said, she does this in like the real world, like, you know, not YouTube videos, not like putting in, not being like, oh, let's put in calculations. Like, she literally sees this on like a daily basis. Like, Potluck says, hi, just popped in to say Arkham made the cannon to find the speed needed to break the taillight. The combined speed was 32 miles per hour, so they destroyed the taillight with a glass. True, they did. They broke it with a glass. They did. They did. Thank you, Potluck. Were you watching from the bushes, my friend? I was wondering where you were. I was like, where the hell's Potluck? When some of you are missing who are usually here, I have to think about if I have to email you afterwards, make sure you're okay. It would be great if she just excludes ARCA because I doubt they turned in everything they were supposed to. I don't even want them to exclude ARCA. I want them to let ARCA testify because Dr. Wolf looked like a fool last time by saying if he was given more information that nothing would change. As we know, that's BS. Anybody doing sort of a theory or calculations would know that more information is always better and that it absolutely could change what the result is if you have actual more information. So a damn bouncing rock can shatter a tail lamp in the right conditions. That's true. We don't need I mean, have you ever driven a vehicle? What do you mean show us the experiment? You realize that you can do an experiment 50 times and get 50 different answers, right? You realize that, right? I hope you realize. I would hope that you would realize that. Like ARCA broke it. What do you mean? They literally broke it with a glass. Just like Potluck said, they literally broke it with a glass. They broke that tail lamp with a glass. They're experts. Let them show you. I personally don't think ARCA made or did anything because they didn't have any video to prove. That's another thing. Why wouldn't you show? That's something that I, usually see that I didn't see. I know, me too, Scorpio. I found you on Discord, by the way. I like literally space cadetted out after the live because I got a phone call, forgot, and I woke up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and I was like, oh no, I forgot, and I literally remembered and was like, let me do this right now. I'm not patronized. I'm saying, like, if you've driven a vehicle, you should know that it's really not that hard to break a tail light. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're talking about it as if it's literally like like the tail light is Superman or something, that it can't be broken. Like, it absolutely can be broken. And Potluck's right. ARCA broke it. They broke it. They broke it with a glass. Like, so you can't say that it can't be broken by a glass because ARCA broke it with a glass. Like, at least they claim to have broken it with a glass. Like, I'm excited too. Hey, girl, there you are. Oh, the flying monkeys. Listen, this is why I only check my X messages, look at a couple things, and get off because the flying monkeys are real. Like, and no, you don't, girl. And I was just telling people the other day that this has me squirming a lot less. You guys notice I squirm a lot less? We could all thank her for that. She bought this pad for me off my wish list so that I wouldn't be so squirmy wormy. And it's very comfortable. I appreciate it, Aviana. I really do. It's super comfy dumpy. And I would be squirming without it. Like literally squirming, worming. Like, so thank you. I've thanked you, but you weren't here. So now I'm glad I saw you pop in because now I can thank you while you're here. I mean, here's the thing. I really don't give a shit what happened with the glass. I don't care if the glass was in his hand. I don't care if he threw it at the back of the car. Here's the bottom line. The bottom line is the car hit John. I could give two F's less about the glass. I could care less whether the glass was broken and he had two glasses and one broke in his hand and one, his arm went up and hit the car. I really don't care about the glass. What I care about is John and the vehicle itself. And as we know, the vehicle backs up. That's hard data. 60 feet, 24 point whatever, 2 or 3 miles per hour. And within seconds, John's phone stops moving forever in the place that he is then found after 6 a.m. There is not snow underneath him, but dirt and grass. So we know he's there from about that time till there never moves until after 6 in the morning. So when they find him, that's the data that I care about. I could really care less, like whether the glass shattered in his hand, whether it shattered when his arm went up, whether it shattered when he dropped it. I really don't care about the glass, really. Like the glass doesn't really tell us much other than maybe he had it in his hand or had two of them. One in his his arm went up and it smashed. One he fell and it smashed. I don't really know. I don't really care. What I care about is the car data. Okay, because the glass might not have been the thing that broke the taillight. His elbow could have broken the taillight. We don't know. Like, but what we do know is how far that car backed up and at what speed, and that John's phone stopped moving forever in the same spot he was found in after seconds after Karen's car backs up. And that there's a 4-second window where his phone could have drifted off. It would take more than 4 seconds to get into that house, down to the basement, beat up, and then dragged outside to the lawn and bit by a dog. So that clearly did not happen within 4 seconds. Also, we also know the wind was extremely loud and blowing pretty hard that night. Yeah, Arca also did say that the taillight wasn't broken by Karen tapping John's car. But as we know, if you go back and watch it, Karen's taillight clears John's car completely. It's her bumper that hits his car. And they are compromised. I agree. Yeah, karma does eventually bite you. Sure does. Sure does. Put good karma in the world, people. It comes back to you. Don't put bad karma in the world because that will come back to you too. I put that X-ray flying monkey photo. Yeah, well, there's a lot of them. So keep your mental sanity, Aviana. Believe me, don't even bother engaging because it's worthless and pointless. They're going to have to watch the trial like everyone else unless they do this when the Commonwealth is talking, which a lot of people do. La, la, la. They don't want to hear anything the Commonwealth has to say. So they don't listen. And that's a mistake. Even I listen to everything the defense has to say. I want to hear the whole thing. I don't want to hear just the Commonwealth. I want to hear every single thing that's going to go on in this trial and every single witness, you know? But I'm not a physics person. I'm not a scientist, so I can't give you more physics. But if you watch the trial, I'm sure they can. I know I have to have it, Amber. I'm less squirmy, right? Much less squirmy with it. Marks the official position of the defense is the ARCA report, which says John broke the taillight with the glass. So why are they still bringing up Sallyport video and the possible planting craziness? Good point, Mark. Good friggin' point. That is a good point. It's a good question. How do you think it broke then? You totally are, girl. Yeah, I don't blame you. I avoid it too, Aviana. Believe me, it's not worth your mental sanity. Don't even. It's you know what I mean? Like if you're talking to like-minded people, and you're having like debates, like I actually have good debates with some people who think she's innocent and not because she didn't do it, but because they think the investigation was faulty in a way. That creates reasonable doubt. But we have some really good debates. Guess what? We're still friends. Isn't that amazing? You can be friends with people who believe different things than you, but some people over there don't seem to understand that. Like they think just if you believe something different than they do, that like everybody's an enemy. It's amazing to me. But we do have Discord. You can always go there. There are great conversations that happen there. And no, yeah, they're definitely not unbreakable, as we know. Like, oh yeah, that's exactly it, right? You can't tell me that there's not a difference between a taillight in 100-degree weather versus a taillight in 2-degree weather. Of course there is. It's the same thing as taking a glass, right, out of the dishwasher and immediately putting it into freezing cold water. It's going to crack and break. Anybody ever done that before? Yeah. You know what Trooper Paul meant. Like to make fun of Trooper now talk about patronizing. You're patronizing Trooper Paul. What he meant was the evidence tells a story. And you know that's what he meant. He didn't say the scene actually like talked words to him. Come on. You knew exactly what he meant. So to patronize Trooper Paul by saying, "Oh, the scene talked to him," you know exactly what he meant. What he meant was the evidence tells a story, right? That's what he is saying. Like, come on now. That's ridiculousness. Like utter ridiculousness. And also, yeah, the Sallyport video says literally nothing because they have Sallyport from outside of it. Like, come on now. You're not going to find those pictures. There's no public pictures of the grass underneath him because as soon as they moved him, obviously it was still snowing. The snow started to fill in. So you're not going to find the pictures of grass underneath him. But the EMTs, the firefighters, and Kerry will all tell you there was no snow underneath him. It was grass and dirt. It was the ground was underneath him. Yeah, there's so many, like, really all that matters to me is did the car hit him? And in my opinion, it did. Like, that's the other thing. Sunken grave. That is the other thing. Why? And I know Hank, that's what Hank's trying to get to the bottom of. Why didn't the third ARCA witness testify? Why didn't the defense use the third ARCA witness, Dr. Sheridan? I believe it's because Dr. Sheridan came to a different conclusion than the other two. And if he came to a different conclusion or had a different theory that didn't follow the defense's theory, then yeah, they're not going to use him. But if that's the case, then Hank very well could call him to the stand and ask him why he didn't agree with the people, the other two ARCA guys, and why. And that is not going to make the defense look good. But this is what Hank's trying to get to the bottom of is why didn't they call Dr. Sheridan too? For what? There must have been a reason. You're not just going to not call all three ARCA witnesses. You clearly didn't call one of them because they would have said something you didn't want them to say. And I think it would be in Hank's best interest to call Dr. Sheridan as a witness if he can get to the bottom of why the defense didn't call him. The only reason for me that you wouldn't call him is if he's not agreeing with the other two on specific things that make the defense's theory go, you know? Ron said, well, it's all based on theory. Exactly. It's all just a theory. But opposing speed of the glass or its foot kicking added to the reverse speed, it could be 32 miles per hour. Also, we know the wind. The wind was blowing hard. It was so loud that, like, people had to scream next to each other. Like, nobody said him throwing it was a cannon. But once again, there is a car coming at you at, 24 point whatever miles per hour. Like, I mean, here's the thing. Once again, it like you just said, it's all a theory. Like, it's all a theory. We have no idea what the glass did. Mike, so you're telling me that you can't break a glass. You can crack, but not break a glass if you take it out of a hot dishwasher and put it directly in cold? Absolutely can. Done it before. And any other woman who's ever done that can tell you it absolutely can and will break right off the glass. Right? Inverted taillight. Imagine. Imagine that in being an argument. Thank you, MYB. Well, we will be here for the trial, and I know many of you will be. Some of you choose to watch other places. That's cool. But I know that most of you who have told me personally, like, this is where you'll be watching, and we will be here for you guys to be watching. We don't talk over the testimony on either side. We only talk during sidebars and lunch and after court for the day. So I want to hear everything. I don't want to miss anything. I don't pause things and back up unless it like skipped a little. And then if we didn't hear it, we'll replay it. But usually I don't have to back anything up. I don't pause to talk. I can't. If I pause to talk, every question I'd be pausing to talk to explain something. Not to explain because you guys don't know, but explain like what my opinion is on it. Like all of that can wait until lunch break or after the trial's over or during a sidebar. I take notes. I take plenty of notes. My hand always hurts after, but I take notes. I mean, I think there's a lot of things that a lot of people missed. A lot of people missed. And I find that a lot of the time they'll say something and I'm like, wait a second, did you miss this, this, and this completely? Did you miss those days? Like, Well, that's the thing. It's just a taillight. I'm saying it's not Superman made out of steel. Like, you know what I'm saying? Well, that's it. Confuse the jury. Confused. You are 100% right. Like, that's what it's all about, right? Smoke and mirrors. Like, Sunken Grave said, can the defense please take a position of when they think the taillight was all busted up, right? That's a good point. And Mike, the police officer at the Reed House, I think you mean the one from Dighton, that's not what he testified to. What he said was that the taillight was missing a piece. That officer would have no idea how many pieces, that bigger piece, because from his view, he's looking at a large piece that looks like it's missing. Okay. That's what he's seeing. He has no way of knowing how many pieces that would have shattered into or did shatter into. He's looking at it like, okay, there's looks like a puzzle piece and looks like a piece is missing. Like, that officer had no way of knowing how many pieces it would have broken into at all. Like, so to assume that because he said a piece was missing means that there was just one tiny little small, he never said small, he didn't say tiny, he said a piece. There is a piece missing. That's what it looks like when you look at it, is there's a large piece missing. Like, he has no way of knowing if it broke into pieces, if it was one big piece, no way of knowing that. Like, so because he didn't say there's a bunch of little pieces missing, or you make the assumption that that means that it wasn't damaged the way it was. Well, we know it was because we have pictures of it at 8 in the morning and it was broken at 5 in the morning. So we know that it was already damaged. Yeah, grass. It was the ground. That's what was underneath John, was the ground. Yeah, Mark, it's because they say a piece, right? It's because that officer said a piece that they took it and ran with it in the conspiracy where they were like, he said it was just a piece. First of all, he never said just a. Let's just put it out there. He never said it just a little piece. He said there is a piece missing. That's what it looked like, that it was damaged. And that is what it looks like. If you look at it, it looks like there's just one sort of puzzle piece of a piece missing. A large piece, but he doesn't say large or small. He just says piece. There's no way for him to know how many pieces that taillight would have broken into. None at all. Oh, it was extremely limited, and they weren't allowed to ask other questions or dig into anything. The fact that they were told that they couldn't explore other things, like, that is my red flag. Here, take this, but don't explore what else could have happened, and explore whether this could have happened, that could have happened, like, only do this. Like, that's a huge red flag to me. That's not science and physics. That's make what we want fit into this. That, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. Like, it's another thing. I'm from Massachusetts. Like, no, I don't think Lally will do any of the cross snow remover. I don't think you'll see Lally do much of anything besides like the paperwork and notes. Like, I think him and McLaughlin will do exactly what. So you remember what McLaughlin did last time, where she was sitting there, but she was like mostly taking notes. And like, I think that's what you'll find both Lally and McLaughlin doing this time, is mostly like taking notes, writing things down, during direct examination and cross. So I think like they're the ones who are going to be like looking for certain things, paperwork and pieces of evidence, and handing them to Hank, like things like that. Like, they're going to be tasked with like doing all of that kind of stuff. I don't think you'll see them do an opening or a closing. I don't think you'll see them doing cross of many, if any, witnesses at all. What do you mean? You can see the exact same amount that is missing on that dash cam is the exact same amount of taillight that's missing the entire time. So what do you mean? The garage door closed at 5:40 p.m. They found those 3 pieces at 5:50 p.m. The throwing of the glass makes no sense because the taillight glass isn't going to ricochet back and take his sneaker off. Of course not, but we do know a pedestrian strike is how shoes can come off. Being hit by a car is how shoes can come off. We know that that's consistent. I don't know. Maybe that's why, but I believe that they said that they weren't going to use him anyway. Like, I think it was asked that he was could be excluded, but then I remember Jackson and Yeti saying, "Well, we're not going to use him anyway." So, I don't think they ever had to decide on that because they said they weren't going to use him anyway. Yeah, they have videos of the CERT team searching. They took videos of the CERT team looking, I think, and pictures. They took pictures of when they found pieces of taillight. Wasn't Dr. Sheridan part of ARCA? Well, there was a third ARCA witness. The third guy was limited by the judge, something to do with qualifications. I would find them. Okay, so maybe that's what it was. But I know that even the Commonwealth is asking why they didn't use the third witness. So there is something going on there because Hank is questioning something about the third ARCA witness and why they didn't use him for anything at all. Even if he was limited, like from the report, they couldn't tell who did what part of the report and like what specific each person did. And Hank has questions about why they chose to only use 2 out of the 3 ARCA witnesses. Even if he was limited, why wouldn't you still use him? You got a limited testimony from a lot of the witnesses and you're still using them. So they need to know, the Commonwealth needs to know. And this is why Hank is asking this. He needs to know why, because if there's a chance that the third ARCA witness didn't agree with the other 2 on something specific, that can be used. Yeah, maybe I'm remembering it wrong. It wasn't Dr. Sheridan, but it was definitely a third ARCA person. Yeah, that's the other thing, is that there's clearly other things they haven't provided in discovery when it comes, like Aviana saying, when it comes to emails, text messages, and I think the 18th, right? Friday was the deadline for that. Like, yeah, there is the video of it on the tow truck. And yeah, it is why Hank keeps filing motions. He wants to know why the third ARCA witness was not used, and he wants to know who did what in those reports, and he knows that there are communications, whether it's text, email, phone records, whatever. He knows other ones exist, and the defense is not giving them up, which is why Hank's like, all right, defense says they don't have it in their care and control. Cool. We'll have ARCA bring it. They need to bring anything that they had communication-wise and hand it over. And that's not going to be good for the defense. Just make no mistake about the fact that it's not going to be good for the defense. Because clearly there are other communications that exist that weren't given over. And I think clearly they're being hidden. We could clearly tell it was already, they lied to the court, and that was very clear. But obviously they are hiding it for a reason that means that whatever they're hiding is pretty detrimental to them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be hiding it. You know what I mean? If there was nothing to see here, they would have just handed everything over that they had. And clearly they have not done that. Like, wait, that's the other thing. It's like, oh, so every single person lied except Karen. Cops, CMTs, firefighters, every single person, witnesses, every person. The lab people, the state police, the Canton PD, EMTs, firefighters, witnesses, like every single person, anybody who has a YouTube channel that says she did it, everyone's in on it. The courts that have denied her dismissals, her motion to dismisses, and then her tries to stay, and everyone's in on it. The judge is in on it, the clerk's in on it, the court officers, everyone is in on it, and everyone is lying except Karen. Like, is that logical? Like, everyone's lying except Karen? It's not logical. It's not logical. There's always some truth within a lie. Karen said, did he hit my car? She motioned like he knocked on her car, and she clipped him in the knee. Yeah, I remember her saying something like, did I tag him in the knee? Like, why would you think that you tagged him in the knee is the question that needs to be asked. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe there were 2 Dr. Chardons. Maybe that's where I'm getting confused. Maybe there were. Leon displayed his own video taken when he saw the tail lamp, showing it clearly broken, which is what he was saying. He only meant part of it was left in the car. Yeah, that's it. That's all. Like, they look way too far into what someone's saying and try to twist it to fit their narrative. It's kind of insane. Like, I feel like it's a combination of both glass and elbow, and it happened very fast. Oh, it definitely happened fast. We know that it happened extremely fast. And I can only hope that, John didn't feel pain, because I think about him laying out there by himself in the cold, and it breaks my fucking heart, like, for those kids and for that family and anybody who loved John having to think about that. Compare it to the question we all used to get in school. A train leaves X going X miles per hour. Another train leaves Y going Y miles per hour. When will the two meet? Arca had a train leaving at X headed to a... Hold on, I gotta find your other comment. It's way down here. Damn it. Damn it. Sunken grave. It could go all the way down to the bottom. Haven't got it yet. At least I don't see it yet, so. But I get what you mean, you know? Yeah, I mean, some of the side pieces were still there. You know what I mean? Yeah, they did. They matched the taillight. They matched the taillight. They tried to put it back together. Put most of it back together, the taillight. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's another thing that gets me is when you defend a lie at every cost, especially when it starts to not make sense, when there's evidence against it, but you're still defending said lie. Like, that is a huge red flag for me. Like, you know, like a huge red flag. It's like asking how long is a piece of string. I have, Jackie. I have 2 hours and 33 minutes and 54 seconds to be exact. Well, that's another thing. The judge definitely gave it to the defense for lying. Yeah, and that's another thing. There was clearly snow packed into it. We could see that. We could clearly see that, you know? It wasn't completely broke. There was still pieces in the taillight left. That was his point, is the entire thing was not gone. I would have said the same thing. The entire taillight was not gone. There were still pieces in the housing that were still there. There was some pieces over here. There was some pieces on the corner. There were still pieces there. So it wasn't completely obliterated. There was a piece, what it looked like a piece missing. It looks like a big piece is missing. There are still pieces hanging onto it on the corners and on the bottom. Like, so yes, clearly, like, it's not completely broken if those pieces are still there, right? Like, that's how I would have described it too. But for people to say that because he said it wasn't completely broken, that means that, like, all of that wasn't missing, like, that is literally making a giant assumption. There are still pieces there, so clearly it's not completely broken if there are still pieces there, is it? You know what I mean? Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, that's the way he was explaining it. Like, and I don't know if it's like a Boston thing, a New England thing, like the way we say or explain things, but because there's still pieces left in it, like, it's not completely broken. Like, there's still pieces there, you know? Well, that's the thing. Why didn't they? That's what I feel like they should have done, right? Is like show them and say, like, is this what you saw? You know what I mean? But I feel like if they had done that, then we would be hearing like, well, they showed it to him, so of course he knew what to say. He was lying, because that's what would happen, right? If they showed it to him and said, "Is this what you saw?" Right? Like, they would have been like, "Well, now he just lied." Now, like. So it didn't really matter what way the poor friggin' officer said it. Like, there would have been some ridiculous conspiracy, no matter how he explained it, I feel like. You know what I mean? Like, well, that's the other problem. Like, Karen's story has changed a multitude of times. Why they don't don't find a problem with that is a little bit concerning. Like, you know what I mean? A piece was missing. Right. Right. He definitely never said it was only cracked. That's another one that gets me. Yeah, and if I was Hank, I'd be pissed too, because some of the things that they did, like, not only were just not appropriate, okay, but they didn't ask the Commonwealth for any piece of evidence. They only took evidence from the defense. That's kind of shady and weird. Doesn't make any sense. And there was so much more that the feds could have given ARCA for them to come to a proper conclusion. Text stream data, where the taillight pieces were found, all that stuff. Like, and they gave them none of that, you know? I'd be pissed if I was Hank too. Absolutely. I agree with you, Jane. That is part of why Hank is so pissed about the feds, because of what they did. And also, in my opinion, it's their job to come out and fix the mess they made. And they're not. And that gets me more than anything, hiding behind their rules. Okay, they're your rules, but they're not a law. Just do what's right, you know? Like, yep, she did. She told them that she broke the tail light. And she pulled a piece out at John's house because they had exposed like wires or whatever, and they were worried about like electrical fire. So she pulled a piece out on camera, mind you, but that piece of ring camera footage is missing. Missing. Yeah, Hank has no love lost. I wouldn't either. You know what I mean? Oh, you're talking about the grass? Yeah, you're not gonna see that in the dash cam because you can't even see John in the dash cam. The car is parked behind, is it Carrie Roberts' car? Is it Carrie's car or Jen's car? I think it's Carrie's car. Either way, you can't see John. He's off camera. What's underneath, you can see the snow on the ground, but you can't see him or what's underneath him. That's how we know he was there for so long, because it was ground underneath him. When you removed him, it was ground, which means he had been laying there since it just started snowing. And that's in one of the pictures. Yeah, it was being filled in with snow. It was all packed in with snow. I'm gonna have to figure out what it was about his qualification, because I know that, like, in the middle of her deciding that, the defense was like, well, we're not going to use him anyway, so it doesn't matter. Ghost man theory? Probably not. I mean, they're still saying that taillight was planted. I'd like to know from who, considering Proctor wasn't there, and you'd have to plant it in front of the whole CERT team and somehow get it underneath the snow. Somehow. Like, I mean, that's the next theory, right? Is Chloe is actually a pig in disguise. That's, you know what I mean? Like, I know, we're just jealous. Like, that's Aiden's famous line, is everybody's just jealous of him and everybody's riding his coattails and everybody's obsessed with him and jealous of him. I would argue he's obsessed with us and me and doesn't know how to leave people alone. I think he's obsessed with Lindsay. I think that he's mad that he was held accountable for the first time in his life and sat in a prison cell, and he wants to take it out on her by victimizing his own victim. And Darvo, it's what he does best. Distract, reverse, attack the victim. And it's not something new to him. This is stuff he's been doing long before FKR ever existed, before this case ever existed. So let's just remember that, okay? Go back to his past on things that he did before this ever existed. Which one's like Lucky? He testified to the federal government too. And so did the federal government and law enforcement take things down wrong? Because I'm not saying that, law enforcement doesn't ever put things down wrong. Of course they do. Sometimes they get names mixed up, addresses are reversed to like people, they forget like which one belongs to who, or the way they wrote it down, it's not clear, when they take notes. So they have to like guess. So of course, law enforcement never gets things 100% right. And also there are things they just don't even put in reports because they're taught to only put facts so that people's opinions and speculation don't go into reports. They're supposed to just put facts. So that's how we were taught to do it at the prison when we write any report. So, I mean, I'm not doubting that that some cops might have taken things down wrong, but you can't say the grand jury because that stuff's recorded. That's recorded. The grand jury can't take things down wrong. It's recorded. You know what I'm saying? But once again, the only people who are saying anything about law enforcement is the people whose statements are not consistent, like Lucky's. and they're not consistent across not only court, the state police and the feds. So it's different depending on who he talks to. Yeah, she said she's the hottest at the hillside. You know what I mean? Like the hottest ever. I mean, I get it. I mean, we got a lot of people that come here, like, asking questions and trying to figure out what happened. I literally go back to the things that we can prove for 100% fact. You can take out the fact that maybe law enforcement didn't do the best job, right? You can take out anything that Proctor touched and just use the straight data that not even the defense is arguing is faulty, which is her car data and the phone data, right? Take everything else out. Take all the noise of every other thing out and go back to the car data. Karen's car backs up 60 feet, 24.2 or 3 miles per hour, 60 feet. And within seconds, John's phone stops moving forever in the spot that he is then found in at 6 in the morning. So if he's beat up and he goes in the house and gets beat up and bit by a dog, his phone never goes in the house. Karen says she's the one who tries to take the phone out of his pocket. So if his phone never goes in the house and it's in his pocket the entire time, and there's only a 4-second window where his phone could have floated into the house GPS wise. So unless he got beat up, dragged down to a basement, hit with a dumbbell, and bitten and attacked by a dog in 4 seconds, then it's not plausible or possible. He stops moving forever with his phone seconds after Karen's car backs up. That is pretty good as a snapshot in time as to what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of the noise, take all of the noise out of everything and just go back to the facts that we know that nobody can claim was tampered with. Not even the defense is claiming that. The car data, because it's not tampered with and can't be tampered with, and the phone data. And that's sort of what wraps this case up for me in a very pretty little bow. Is there is no time for him to have been beaten up and dragged in the house and outside the house and this and that in 4 seconds. And Karen's car backs up, and within seconds, John stops moving forever. His phone is in the place that he is found and stops moving forever. I mean, that's a pretty damning pieces of evidence, Yeah, I'll have to go back and check, see what his name was then. I don't know why I'm remembering it as Dr. Sheridan. I mean, she might be, Some, you never know. Some people are looking for answers, but you also have to, you know, start taking out the things that are just noise, right? You know what I mean? Like things that have been twisted into some nefarious thing. Like, and I know that like I know more than like the general public does to some of these things that that haven't been revealed to you guys on like reasons on why X, Y, and Z was done and reasons why this, and this happened. But there are a lot of things that you can just take out that are noise and just go down to the things that are facts. Get down to the bare bones, facts and data, right? And the data in the car and the phone data is the most damning to me. To this day, nobody can answer to me how he's dragged into a house within 4 seconds and why his phone stops moving in the same place that he is found within seconds of Karen's car backing up. She's not saying somebody else was driving her car. She's not claiming someone else was driving her car or someone else was with them that night. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, anybody who's been watching me for a long time should know the answers to these questions. And I tell you guys to go look for them yourself too, Like, well, that's the thing. Did you clip him in the knee or did you watch him go? I mean, that's the thing. The watch him go in the house thing didn't happen until over a year after he died. You know? Like, you know? I mean, there are plenty. I mean, I think the only two questions we really need to answer are: was anybody else driving that car? No. And you can't argue that the data has been altered because it's not. Even the defense knows their expert is the one who did the chip on chip off in the first trial. So they can't argue that is altered in any way. They're the ones who did it. So they're the ones who got the data. So unless they altered said data, that data is as good as it gets, and it shows exactly what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they definitely should have done a better job last time. You know, I feel like Lally did the best that he could with what he was given. And I think the poor guy had to do more debunking than any other person has ever had to do in a case. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it could have been Tinkerbell. We don't know, right? Like, poor Tinkerbell. Like, well, that's the thing. There is new pieces of evidence this time, right? Aperture, are you here to troll? Because it's a waste of your time. Just a waste of time, honestly. The Muffin Man or the Muffin Woman? Why can't the Muffin Man be a Muffin Woman? I'm just saying. Well, we do know that there was some MKR there, you know? Like, that's abundantly clear at this point. We need a jury who's never heard of this fucking case. That's what we need. Somebody to look at the evidence and not the nonsense. Just not the noise and the nonsense theories that don't make any sense. Like, it's a pig's ear. That's why pig was found, but there's no dog DNA. Like, that's just utterly ridiculous and stupid to even say such a thing. Take all the noise out. All the noise needs to come out. Like, no, what they were saying is that's not what I meant, because what Jackson was doing is taking what they were saying and pulling it out of its context, or taking what they were saying and twisting what it meant. And so they're saying that's not what I meant and that's not what I was asked. So he wasn't even taking like the question they were asked and then the answer. He was taking the answer and applying it to something completely different. That was the problem with that. Is it's not that they didn't say it, it's not what they meant, because he was twisting things. And I don't think Lally did a good job of drawing out that, like, that's not the question that was asked of them. This is the answer, but that's not the, so you're attaining one of their answers to something completely different. Like, and that's sort of what Jackson had done the entire time. And it's a tactic that even TV uses, which is take it out of its context and make it look nefarious. Like, and he did that a multitude of times. Like, again, I know some things more than you guys do, but like, that was half the problem with some of the things that Jackson were doing and why I find him so slimy, which is you can't just take the truth, sir, and do what you will with the truth. You have to take things completely out of their context or out of something else and twist it. That's not what they meant at all. And that's what the question they were asked for that to mean. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's half of the problem. Like, no, he hasn't investigated anything. He was handed over whatever information she wants to give, and even that was faulty at best. Like, but again, the truth doesn't change, right? The truth isn't faulty. Like, no, he wasn't there. He wasn't even at 34 Fairview. So that's another thing. Like, he wasn't even there. Like, so he magically planted taillight when he wasn't even at 34 Fairview? How did he fly in like Superman and drop it? Like, he wasn't even on scene. Like, it was the defense playing games over and over and over. Like, yeah, well, the majority also said they didn't believe the conspiracy. They not for a little bit. Yeah, it could be a pink bow. You know, I love pink. I won't let her ruin the color pink for me. It is my favorite color. Like, no, I don't what? No, I don't know more than the general public. Ooh, sorry for you, I do. Looks like you're just here to troll. Do it elsewhere. We don't know what. We don't know that his phone stopped moving forever in the place that it was found with him at 6 in the morning seconds after her car backed up. We do know that. It's in the data. It was presented in the first trial. So what do you mean? I'm confused. Those are facts. No, she's blonde. She's blonde. She was wearing, I think, a red shirt in the last one, maybe. I'm pretty sure. There's new evidence. We know that, right? And we know that it's going to be presented in a different way. I mean, Lally didn't have the sort of same presentation as Hank does, and I think he'll do a better job at it. Not for lack of trying. Lally had a very big uphill battle to try to debunk nonsense conspiracy theories that most of the jury didn't even buy. Let's 100%. The jury, most of them did not buy the conspiracy theory. We know this now. So if most of the jury did not buy the conspiracy theory, they didn't buy the dog bite theory, they didn't buy the conspiracy theory, then that means they probably thought it was an accident. Now, if Hank can hammer home the fact that it wasn't an accident, if you're backing up at 24 miles an hour at 75% acceleration, that's not an accident. And the charge of murder, too, doesn't require that she intended to hit him. Okay? It requires that she knew at 24 miles an hour backing up that fast at 75% acceleration while drinking at night in the snow could have caused death, bodily harm or death. That's all it requires. It doesn't require intent. So a reasonable person should have known, and a reasonable person would know. Common sense. So even if you say it's an accident, there are other things that she did after that prove that there's no accident that happened. And at the very beginning of this, thought that maybe it could have been a terrible accident. But as more pieces of evidence come out, you go, wait a second, there's no accident if you're backing up at 24.2 or 3 miles per hour. That's at 75% acceleration. That's not an accident, right? There's nothing accidental about that. So many questions, right? It is kind of like being a kid on Christmas Eve. I live for cross-examinations. I'm ready for crosses. I'm ready for openings. Those are some of the best things, but good debates. Those are I live for it. Let's do it. Let's do it. It will be spectacular. I 100% agree. You are right, Penny, my friend. It is pointless, but I don't think that I think she's trying to ask questions, I don't want to deter anybody who's asking questions. I'll answer all the questions you got. I mean, you don't have to agree with me, but you can also go look at the actual hard data yourself, you know? We are going to have a lot to talk about, but that's why I skip a lot of people stop streaming during lunchtime and they go and they eat lunch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself something when I'm with you guys. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my headphones in. I'm going to shut my camera off. I'm going to go put my food in the microwave or oven, whatever I'm making. I bought salad so I can make salad too, just a quick salad. And then I'm going to grab that and I'm going to bring it here and I'm going to shut my mic off and I'm going to eat with my camera off while openings are happening, and same with testimony. And then that way, when lunch comes, I won't be hungry and I will have all the lunchtime to talk about what we just saw in the first half. You know what I mean? Oh, we love you. Oh, you have a dissertation? Oh, God, you poor thing. You know what? You're not alone. It's totally fine. Totally fine. Yeah, some people just come here to troll. I love what they tell me what I know and what I don't know. Funny, huh? It's hilarious to me that people think that they know what I know and what I don't know. And I very clearly at this point, anybody who's been watching me for this long knows that I very clearly know more than the general public does when it comes to this case. That's very clear at this point. You know, the witnesses are allowed to tell people things. They're allowed to do that. They're allowed to do that. And clearly, I've talked to a couple of them. Like, it's funny to me. Like, nope, she will not ruin it for me. You know, I got my pink sign, my pink chair, my pink microphone, my pink floofy pen. I got pink all sorts of stuff. All my plugs are pink. I got pink decor, all right? My toaster is pink, my knife block is pink, pots and pans are pink. Listen, pink is my favorite color. Will not ruin my not in this room. These ones are black, but in my other rooms, all my curtains are pink. My comforter is pink, okay? Yeah, she doesn't even like pink. She just wanted them to wear it so it would be like brighter than the blue. Didn't want to get messed up with Justice for John O'Keefe, right? Wouldn't want to do that. Like, yeah, she went to her parents' house with the car. So, oh, I will. You know, I will. Because when you come here just to troll, it's like almost abundantly clear that you're doing it. So it's like, I'm not going to waste my time, and they're wasting their finger push-ups typing ignorant things because I'm just going to remove you and block you from the channel. And then you can't type anything until you make another sock account, and then you just be removed again. So like, you're just wasting your time. Yeah, he definitely did get ambushed too. And that's another thing I had a serious problem with, is all the things that were coming in during trial that shouldn't. Like, if it's not already in, that's it. End of story. Like, and that goes for both sides, not just one or the other. It goes for both sides. You cannot bring in things during trial. It does bias the other side. Like, there should never be things that are coming in or happening during trial unless it's like very specific situations. Like, no intent is needed. That's it. It just that it was reckless and that a reasonable person should have known, you know? I don't know what you mean. Just because you guys didn't see everything doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You have to remember that, right? So things that Lally put in that he chose not to use in trial and pre-trial motions does not mean that it doesn't exist and they didn't say it and it wasn't there. Like, he has to decide what to use in a trial and what not to use. So, you know, there are some things that he didn't end up using that Hank might very well use this time, you know? No, it definitely didn't help when Unetti said that there was no intent and it was a tragic accident, you know? Like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. Sorry, I'm behind in the comments a little bit. I try to, like, get to all of them, so it's like, you know. It's always painfully awkward to watch her interact with the cult members. She has no social skills. She's not a warm and friendly person. You know, I okay, yeah. Sorry, yeah, I'm behind in the comments a little bit. My bad. That's my bad. Ooh, you have a velvet pink chair for your dressing table? I want a, vanity, like, so bad. I have, like, so many, like, different eyeshadow palettes and, like, skincare products to try to work out this, rosacea and, dryness in my skin from, psoriasis. But I need, like, somewhere to put all my beauty products desperately, and I have only owned a vanity one time in my life. It was passed down for me from my mother's best friend, and I owned it when I was, like, between the ages of 10 and 12. Uh, and it was just a mirror. It didn't have any drawers or anything, but they have, like, now they have vanities that have, like, drawers, and, like, I need one of those so bad, like, so bad. I have one on my wish list, but obviously it's just a wish. You know what I mean? Probably never gonna get it, but it's just that's why a wish list exists. Like, everybody did it but me. Yeah, that's probably not gonna work. And I don't think I told you guys in the first trial, I don't think that the jury is going to buy a pick one anyone, and they didn't the first time. You can't just throw out, oh, it could have been any of these people, and then expect the jury is going to be like, okay, like, I get where it's trying to create reasonable doubt, but it leaves the jury to be like, okay, if you're saying pick one anyone, then and none of the evidence points to anything other than her, then we can't pick one anyone. Juries don't like a pick one anyone. If you want to do third party, you should probably nail down who you think did it and give a reason. That way it gives the jury reasonable doubt. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't there in this for me. Like, the pick one anyone I knew was not going to work here in Massachusetts, and it didn't. And it's not going to work the second time around either. So if they keep doing the pick one, any one of these people who could have done it, it's just not going to end up well for them. Like, Well, you realize I will say not wearing a coat is not abnormal here in New England. We're used to it. So oftentimes we'll just wear a sweatshirt and then like a shirt and then a sweatshirt, whether it's a t-shirt or a long sleeve shirt, and then you'll wear like a hoodie over it. A lot of us are like, well, we're only getting in the car, right? So you're only going from the car to wherever you're going in. So there's no reason for a coat, right? So most of us don't pay $150 for a coat when you're only going from the car to I buy my kids coats, but like for the adults, like I'm not going to waste the money on a coat that I'm probably never going to wear. But he was still wearing a hoodie and a shirt underneath that. So, I mean, it's a good, I don't know. I am not a doctor, so I couldn't answer that, but you'd have to kind of look that up when it comes to like science and medical stuff. I have no clue. I mean, I do know that they warmed him up. You have to remember that they warmed him up before they called time of death. They have to do that. So his body temp clearly could have been, they had to warm him. So it could have been much, much lower when they first found him. I'm not really sure. I don't think anybody will really know what it was when they first found him, because their job isn't to check that then. It's to try to save his life. So they knew, him being out in the cold like that, they needed to try to warm him, and they have to before they ever call death in that instance. So, I mean, once again, I'm not a doctor. I couldn't answer that, but there is no justice for John if you're rooting for the person that hit him with her vehicle. Let's just make that abundantly clear. Figure push-ups, yeah. I don't know. It's a good point. Why? It's a waste of time. I don't know why anybody would. Like, yeah, that's, again, no. Save Pink. Save Karen Reed. From who? Herself? No, not you. I wasn't talking about you. It was someone else. It wasn't you. I wasn't talking about you, besties. It was someone else. Someone I removed. They were just literally just trolling. Sometimes you'll never even see the comment, because by the time they write it and I see that they're trolling, I just remove it, Oh, I think, Bill Reed knows more than he's saying, that's for sure. You know? Yeah, you can't use what a lawyer says. Unfortunately, they'd never be able to use that Clippy and Eddie. I commented on the behavior panel video on Jen McCabe saying they should have understood some background around the answered phone calls. Yeah, they should have. And the fact that they went to voicemail, and that the fact that the guy was reading the data, didn't know how to read it. Oh yeah, you're Jen McCabe. I'm all the McCabes, if you didn't know. I'm a McAlbert. I'm gonna make sure it's to say I'm a McAlbert. Yeah, we do. A poor Lally. Like, poor friggin' Lally. Yeah, we don't mean you. Like, there's, like, we get them, you know what I mean? Like, and they come in, they say a couple insulting, rude, ignorant things, and I mean, yeah, everyone's Jen. Everyone, it's so ridiculous at that point. Like, everyone's Jen, Ooh, you mean the bite patterns? They wanted to, like, exclude, like, the fight the dog got in with the other dog. But that lady even says in the there's like a report on that, and the lady who tries to pull the dogs away gets bit by one of the dogs, and she says in the report she has no idea if it was Chloe or her dog that actually got her. She has no idea which dog it was, because she put her hand in the middle of two dogs fighting. Like, Well, that's the thing. They weren't going to check his body temperature right that very second. They're trying to save his life. So it would have been much lower before they called time of death. When they called time of death, they're going to tell you the body temperature. But before that, they have to warm him up before they call time of death. So it would have been lower when they found him. Right. Pick anyone but Karen. Like, yeah. Oh, you know what? They like to say that I work for the Commonwealth. That's a good one too. Like, FYI, when you work for someone, you get paid, number one. Number two, I've never spoken to the Commonwealth. I send things just like anybody else can to the court if I find it concerning, or to Hank Brennan's email, which is publicly accessible, because it's concerning. Like, I've never spoken to the Commonwealth. I don't work for the Commonwealth. That's the most ridiculous assertion I've literally ever heard in my life. If I worked for the Commonwealth, or if I worked for anybody like that was paying me like that, I think I'd own a vehicle. Just saying. Like, it's the one thing that I need that I don't have. I would own a vehicle by now. Like, and I do think he absolutely had a hand with Levy getting involved, but I also think that they might have already been involved when it came to the Sandra Birchmore stuff, and then we're asked to sort of look at this too. So I think there's like a couple things happening here. Like, well, that's the thing. There was too many balls, right? Like, if he's juggling 3, there was 30. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just a little Canadian. No, you're just a little House of Viva Anna. Like, and I'm just a little Brit. I love it. We just don't here in New England, I feel like. You know what I mean? Like, it's just different here. Like, where you might somewhere where it doesn't always get like really cold. Like, we're kind of immune and used to it at this point. Like, in our lives, we're just like, jacket? What jacket? You don't need a jacket. I got a hoodie. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of us just wear hoodies. Like, I definitely think he was sandbagged. My brother went to Brown, but I never visited him there. I did attend his wedding in Longmeadow. Oh, Longmeadow's really pretty. It's Western Mass, I believe, but it's pretty. It's really pretty. That publicly. That's the thing, right? Like, oh my God, the last 12-hour fundraiser he did, I think he made like 10 grand or something ridiculous like that. And I'm like, why don't you move out of your mother's basement then? Just asking for a friend. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people, dude, I've actually seen some people and I'm like, you crazy wearing a t-shirt or shorts here? I'm like, your medication or something must make you really, really hot, because I couldn't, like, shorts, t-shirt in the freezing cold. I've seen people do it here and I'm like, what in the hell is wrong with you? Like, like, what in the hell, like, is wrong with your brain? Like, all right, we've been here 3 hours, 8 minutes. If you guys want to do me a favor and hit the like button and the subscribe button, and you want to do me a favor and share the video with people who don't know that we exist, because I am getting messages like on a weekly basis saying that people didn't even know we existed, and now they know that we existed. So let's let them know that we exist. And I think I have a donation to read, and unless I already read, hold on. Want to make sure I read them all, that's for sure. If you want to donate to the channel, you can do so. This way, we don't have memberships or anything like that. We have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, and there's a link in the description to this video if you want to use Apple Pay. We just figured out how to do Apple Pay with my PayPal. There's a link you can click and you can use Apple Pay. So thank you, PayPal, for telling me how to do that, to help people who keep asking for Apple Pay. Yeah, he raised a ridiculous amount last time. Like a ridiculous, one person gave him like $5,000 to take his shirt off or something, and then bitched that she wanted the money back. It was insane. Like, we have a $20 donation. It says, but I do a consistent, amazing job with the trolls, from Anonymous. Thank you so much, Anonymous. I appreciate you, my friend. And then I think I got something here. Hold on. Yeah, 20,000. Isn't that crazy? Like, see? Some people just don't like it. Like, they like shorts, you know? Like, yeah, see what I'm saying? Like, it was ridiculous. It was like some crazy amount. We have a $100 donation. I'm not going to read the name, but it says, for please use as needed. Thank you so much. I appreciate this very, very, very much, Anonymous. I'm going to read your name because it's your regular name. Next time, tell me your screen name and I will thank you with your screen name. I don't want to read anybody's personal name for sure. I never want to do that. Make sure that's it. Make sure that's it. I don't want to miss anybody. Okay. I think that is it. Yes, the like button would be nice. Thank you, Anna. You guys, some of you guys are like family now. You know what I mean? Like, gotta check in on yous. Like, sometimes me neither, girl. Sometimes me neither. But you know what? When this is all said and done, we're gonna have like a meetup or a party where everybody can come, and maybe we'll do something virtual too, like a virtual Zoom party or something for the people who are not in the country and can't come visit. Because I want to include everyone. I don't want to just include people in the area. I feel like everybody should be included, because everybody puts in effort. You know what I'm saying? Even people who aren't in this country. Like, y'all put in a lot of effort from all over the world. Like, and y'all do an amazing job. And I can't thank any of you enough. Like, and definitely pray for the O'Keefe family and keep them in your thoughts, because this is going to be a long trial for them too. Like, this is 6 to 8 weeks, guys. Like, 6 to 8 weeks. Like, that is a long, long trial. And they're sitting through this is the second trial for that family. The second trial for the witnesses, a second trial for most of us who've been covering this. And this is when a lot of trolls come out, just FYI. Like, this is when we see a lot of kind of bad behavior. So, like, let's keep everybody in your prayers, people who have been victimized by this whole thing, including Lindsay. It's not fair that people are treated the way they are and terrorized the way they are just because they dated someone or they have a different opinion. Like, I would never waste my time going and trolling someone or harassing someone or insulting someone every single day or being obsessed with that person like Altman is obsessed with me every single day, to watch their streams and then say shit like, oh, they're not right, when they are. Like, the other day it was something like, oh, you're not right, Aiden didn't plead the fifth. An attorney had to like literally tell her, like, that's the way the fifth works. Like, what are you talking about? The fact that you people take the most mundane court things and try to turn them into some giant conspiracy. Like, no, you're the one who's wrong. Like, do something better with your time than trolling people you don't like. You don't have to like me. Cool, great, go do something else. I'll leave you alone and you can leave me alone. See how that works? Like, because no matter what, I'm just going to ignore your existence most of the time. So it's kind of a waste of your time, because I'm not going to waste mine. Like, I'm just not going to waste mine. You know what I mean? Like, no, I don't. Most trolls come in and like actually send like insults. You know what I'm saying? Like, they might ask a few questions at first, and then they do like a roll of insults. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't think you were trolling. If I thought you were trolling, you wouldn't even still be here. You know what I mean? I don't think you were trolling. You were asking questions, and I get where you might think that she's innocent. Everybody has the right to their opinion, but as long as you are, respectful in my chat, like, everybody's more than welcome here. And most people know that. I have some free Karen Read people who have been watching me for quite some time now, like, who are in the chat, and they come here because they like the sort of debate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they can do. Me and Tracy have debates, right, Tracy? Like, we had a debate on the phone the other day. Like, I have no problem doing debates. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's ask questions. That's how you get to the bottom of stuff, right? Is asking questions. But remember that there is hard data out there for you guys to go and look at. You don't have to take my word for it. Go look at the hard actual data. And the thing that can't get me past anything is that car data and that phone data. It's a good snapshot in time of what happened. Like, but it was nice to have you, and you can always come here as long as like you're respectful to everybody. Like, you have a place here. Most people know that. Absolutely. And I think it's important for everybody to watch the trial, right? Like, watch the new evidence, like, watch the trial and watch both sides. Don't just watch one and put your fingers in your ears on the side that you don't specifically like. Listen to it all, like, all of it, front to back, like, all of it. Right? Right? And I've raged at both sides too. I've given a lot of criticism to the judge sometimes. I gave some criticism to Lally last time. Like, if it needs to be criticized, I'll do it. Like, fair is fair. Like, yeah, you can say that again. Literally half of her own quote FKR side has her blocked on the internet. Like, that should tell you everything you need to know. You know what I mean? Like, um yeah, we send lots of love to the O'Keefe family. This is their loved one, right? Like, their loved one, and they've lost so many loved ones. This isn't the first or second or third, and those kids have lost 3 parents. That is a hard pill to swallow, you know? Like, a really hard pill to swallow. Like, those kids break my heart at the shit that they've had to go through in such a short period of time in their lives. Like, makes me think about all the stuff, not that I I lost my dad, but I didn't lose my dad as a kid, and that one is never gonna get easier with time. I was 21 when my dad died, and I was talking to my sister about my dad yesterday, and she said to me he would have been a great grandpa. Like, my dad only had one grandkid when he died, and it was my oldest. She was 4. But my dad was a great guy, and losing him was hard. When I got married, in place of the father-daughter dance, I played his favorite song, which was Hotel California from the Eagles. But you don't realize, like, how hard that moment will be without your loved one until something important like that happens and they're no longer with you. And so I feel that pain for Peggy and for Paul and for John Sr., John's dad, of losing a loved one and it being in such a horrible way. Like, obviously my dad wasn't murdered, but suicide's still a really hard thing to deal with when it comes to losing someone you care about. And there are questions still to this day that remain unanswered about my dad's suicide. Some that lend an argument that maybe it wasn't suicide, but I probably will never know, but what I do know is my dad's not here. And I can only hope that he watches from above, proud of his kids and his grandkids, and that we keep his memory alive with our kids, which is what me and my sister try to do. Like, no matter how hard it is to talk about my dad, I'll talk about it because he deserves that memory to live. My brother, couple Mother's Days ago, cleaned up some really old VHS tapes of my dad playing. My dad was he played the drums, but he played many other things like piano in church. He would play the piano in church. And then when everybody was gone, he would sit at the piano and play more. So my brother found a bunch of old videos of my dad playing different instruments, guitar, piano, drums, and some from like his band and some from like after everybody left church, and sent them to me for Mother's Day because he doesn't live in the same state I do. And it was probably one of the best Mother's Day gifts I ever got, So I feel the pain that the family feels, and they know that if they need anything, they can reach out. Like, we are here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if there is anything that they need, um, where it might not be the same way someone died, we understand what it's like to lose somebody, especially somebody that you love that much, It is a great jam, and it's funny enough, it's not something that comes on the radio a lot, right? Like, um, but that song, when it comes on, is like my little cue that, like, my dad's saying, "Hey, I'm here, I'm watching you, I'm, around." Like, it's, 'cause it's something that doesn't come on all the time, like, every time it pops on, like, my husband might call me, like, and be like, "It's not like, just, let the song play on the radio," and I know that it's, like, and it's so weird, it usually happens around the time I've, like, talked about my dad, whether it's within, like, a day or so, and then the song will just come on, and somebody like, "We were just talking about your dad," and then this song comes on, like, and it's again, it's not a song that just comes on the radio all the time, so it's his, I guess, his way and my way of knowing that, like, he's saying hello, It is hard because you just have all those questions. Why? Like, if they had just come to you, could you have helped them? Like, and that's something that I'll probably forever struggle with, is if he had just spoken up, could we have helped him, not feel that way. Yeah, it's tough, dude. It's not easy, Oh, that sucks. Moving is the worst. That is the worst. I'm sorry, Jackie. Yeah, it is really tough. Like, you did make it back. We missed you. Yep. See that? My dad's anniversary is actually in May. And he decided unfortunately, to take his own life the day before my brother's birthday. So my brother's birthday isn't always a happy day every year, and my brother's birthday is May 16th. My dad died May 15th. So, it becomes difficult, you know? No, and I mean, I think if she was trolling, she probably would have thrown some insults out there, you know? No, they didn't. They didn't ask why the bunny left tracks inside, not outside. Thank God they never do. But they did pretty much get a kick out of the bunny tracks. They did. Unfortunately, my little is now sick. She's been puking all morning. Dad's laying down with her. I think she's got the 24-hour bug because she doesn't have a fever or anything. But it was a good day had by all yesterday. But the bunny left its prints at my house. You know, it does every year. It just leaves its little, footprints, and it goes from the door to the where the baskets are. But my where all of my kids were supposed to be here. My oldest had to go back to the hospital because of her wounds. So had to get that cleared up. They said that it just needed to be re-wrapped. So they re-wrapped them because they're still opened. They didn't close them up because of the scleroderma she has. So, but everything is better. And yeah, that's another thing. People are very protective of me. And I'm glad. I'm glad that they are because we do sometimes just get trolls. Yeah, May. Well, we're almost, we're almost there. We're at the end of April, but yeah, May. So May is a little bit tough, you know. You did? Yeah, there's I've never done them in and then back out. I figure he's a magical bunny, so he probably just magics out of here, just wiggles his nose and poof, out he goes. That would take me forever if I did bunny tracks in and then back out the door. I've never thought about putting the bunny tracks back out, but they've also never asked. So I've always done them just coming into the house. And I just use baby powder so I can just like vacuum it right back up. Thank God. But it was a good day. Everybody had a good day. The kids had the massive Easter egg hunt and they had an absolute blast, which is what the goal was, is just for the kids to have a good time, and they did. And we ate and we laughed and we had ice cream and the kids had cupcakes, and it was a good day. The kids had a good day. Hold on one second, guys.
Something to laugh.
All right, guys. I'm gonna go snuggle with my little sickling and maybe watch some movies. Be a movie day for the rest of this day. But we won't get any information today from the court because it's closed today. It's Patriots Day in Massachusetts, so it's closed. But I would keep an eye out first thing, 8:00 tomorrow morning, to see if there's anything that we see that the judge makes a decision on before she talks about it, because she will talk about whatever's left over, I think, right in the morning. 9 a.m. Don't forget, 9 a.m. is when we will be starting court. So I'll probably be here around 8:30. You might not get a notification. So let's remember to just be here around 8:30 or 9. Because sometimes I make them too late. Like I make the thing from StreamYard too late, and sometimes it doesn't send out the notification, but mornings are kind of hectic here. So I'll do my best. I'll do my best to try to make it tonight. Yes, the Lactaid ice cream work. Thank you so much, Tracy. She sent some groceries over, and yes, thank you. My little one is lactose, so she has lactose intolerant ice cream and milk and stuff. So thank you very much, Tracy. That was a huge help. And it was chocolate. She loved it. She loved it. Thank you. I hope she feels better too. She definitely had a nap. She just woke up from said nap and she still has a headache, she says, but hopefully the puking is done. Fingers crossed. I'm not very good with puke. My husband's good with puke. I'm not good with puke. The smell of puke makes me want to puke. Just not good with that. Like, right? She didn't even know the difference. She didn't even know the difference. Like, did not even know the damn difference, which was good. That was the good thing. But let's plan on being here 8:30 in the morning because that's Eastern time. Obviously Eastern time because I'm Eastern time. I always forget to say that because the time differences with everybody. I know, right? I'm probably not going to sleep very well tonight either. So we do have Discord. Remember, guys, Discord. We have Discord. So you can always pop in there. I will be in there today. We'll have some conversations. Maybe we'll do like a voice chat later on tonight. What do you guys think? Do a voice chat. So I have on my Discord, if I do at everyone, it should give everybody a notification that I'm saying something. So maybe I'll do like a voice chat sometime in the evening time, maybe. I added you on Discord. You should see it already. I added you the other night. I did it. Scorpio Moon Gal. And I did the underscores. Watching from the bushes, per usual, Red Race. We have a lot watching from the bushes. There's 413 people watching right now. So there's a lot of them watching from the bushes. Some people from X, some people from YouTube. But Freak can put, if he's still here, the link to the Discord. So if you're not in our Discord, join our Discord. There it is. And so you'll know. So we can do, you guys, when I do a voice chat, there's a voice chat. It's called, you'll see it. It's say Twisted's Treehouse of Horrors. And you can click on it and just mute yourself. You don't have to talk. You can just listen if you want. Or you can jump into the conversation and talk and unmute yourself and talk. And so that's why I like Discord for that, where I don't have to be on camera, but I can use my voice and be doing other things. And people can also just come in and listen and they don't have to talk. They can just listen to what we're saying. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's a good plan to try to do some stuff like that. Yeah, we have lots of people who are riding the bushes. Oh, that's going to be very early, Red Racer. I am sorry. I'm so that's like so early. I am not that kind of, I mean, sometimes I wake up that early. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't wake up until about 6:30, but I don't sleep well either because of the tinnitus. So, but I mean, it's an exciting night. So most of us probably won't sleep well. I'll have to just make sure that my coffee gets there early in the morning so that I'm ready to go, right? Like, but I love your stinking faces. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you share the video with other people who are like-minded. I want to check real quick and make sure I don't have anybody else to thank. I want to make sure that I don't miss anybody. I don't see any other donations. So now that I don't see anything, I don't want to miss nothing to make sure I said hi to everybody. Say thank you to everybody. Okay, perfect. If I get one when I'm not live, we'll do it on the next one in the morning and do the thank yous then. I will see you all for opening statements tomorrow morning. I love your stinking faces. Bye.